All right, all right. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone back to the first happy hour show of 2023. Here with K4K Crypto. Been a minute, man. How you doing?
I'm doing so well. Thanks for having me on. I know I wasn't able to
Been
come
a
on
minute,
like the.
man. How you
Oh
doing?
my god! Oh,
I'm
I
doing
knew this
so
would
well.
happen. Okay,
That's not me.
I'm watching the
I
stream.
had
so
my
I can,
own audio difficulties a couple weeks ago. So, yeah.
well, what a great start! We're not
Yeah.
perfect here. We're all human in Hexaco.
Yes, definitely.
So, but yeah, good to be on. I couldn't make it to the last couple. Just schedule's not matching up.
Yeah.
But
good, man.
it's been good holidays. How were your holidays?
They were good, busy. I mean, we do lots of family and brothers and all that stuff, and
Brothers? Is its
yeah,
own
brothers,
category?
uncles,
Okay.
cousins, nieces, nephews, the whole deal there. So
Yeah, I kind of like, I don't know. Well, let's get into the topics. I don't want to get off track on the first. Hey, how's your day going?
no, hey, it's okay. We haven't seen each other, and it is a new
That's
year,
true. I
right?
know. I feel like I want to catch up with you, but also the watchers want to learn cool things about the topics at hand. We have good topics.
Yes, K4K's already been busy in the chat, keeping everyone entertained. So, how is everyone doing? By the way, we're expecting the DJ Cryptomatic raid. Sebastian, good to see you here. Aussie, Elliot, Addict, what is going on, everybody? Good to see everybody. Crypto Stylist, hello, my lady. Hex Boar, what's going on? Crypto Night, I see what you did there. Still Friday here, but yes, Lucas Rayner, this is a pump for ants, but at least it's a pump. We haven't had this feeling in a while. I'm not anticipating it's going to last too long, perhaps coinciding with the Hex Conference. What was Maddie's poll? Was it a coincidence or something more to that? So I think I voted coincidence, but we'll see. Yeah,
I mean, we haven't hit 11K yet, so yeah. I don't see why we wouldn't drop further, even though everyone's like waiting for they see Hex go down. They're like, oh, it's got to be the bottom because it's gone so low. It's like, well, we also went up more than most everything else, so should probably drop more too.
Yeah, and like the past couple of moves Hex has made in either direction, up or down, hasn't really been with the market so much. So I mean, we pumped there for a while,
That's
and
true.
then
It's a little.
Bitcoin
It's like
hung
it's
out.
based on some other thing. I wonder. I mean, there was that catalyst. I guess some people saw some like that the God Whale did a 2 billion Hex stake or something for 45 days. People are like, well, if he's he's showing that he's not going to be selling that amount for whatever amount of time. Maybe it's a sign of something in the market.
Perhaps. And the last time I think we pumped a little bit was God Whale started, making a few buys and people noticed that. So
that's true.
Maybe.
Yeah. When was that? Was that like 2.5 cents or something? He did like how much did he buy? It wasn't like $1 million.
Now you have me looking up the chart.
I think it was at least 6 digits of buying, which, whenever that's like a signal for everyone to see, kind of, I would say. Or they're scaling in now extra.
So when was that? Let's go back and get our branding on point here. Where are we? So, was that back in October? Or maybe that was even way further back here. It could have been. Was it over the summer? I don't think it was over the summer. I think it was just a few months ago.
I'm pretty sure it was pretty recent, like in the last month or two. Like the actual buying of some from the Godwell was.
Yeah, I think it was right here at like 3 cents, if I'm not mistaken. So that'd be late October, early November. We had, a little pumperoo there. And I mean, looks like now we're right back up against the 40 day moving average, which we have not been above since November. So that's kind of served as a resistance here over the past couple months. Can we blow by it in the pump? We'll see. We will see. Maddie, it's up to you. And speaking of Maddie, we're going to have him here in a bit to preview the conference. What is up, Super Hex? DJ Cryptomatic, the raid is on. So hello, everyone from Twitch. Thank you for coming on over, including I Stub My Crypto. KD, what's going on? Michael Light, what's going on? Benny Blanco, a lot of familiar faces, new faces, Tin Top, what is going on?
Oh, dude, I just remember all these names. There's a lot of Hexkins that stick around through the bear market. I don't think that's normal in a lot of these communities. Because I was through the 2017 and then 2018 bear market, and I was part of a Discord. It was called the Crypto Cartel. And there was a lot of traders in there. You know, I was just a guy who just hung out with the guys in there, and there's like voice chat. And people would draw charts, and they'd have, you know, now the people on Twitter are some guys from that chat, and they have like hundreds of thousands of followers, but they're just traders, chartists, sell chart patterns to people. And a lot of those people are just gone now. Like a lot of the people that I remember in those chats, and those, like, they just disappeared from crypto. They either got liquidated and they're gone, or they just got so burnt out on crypto they just never return. And so the only people that stuck around were the people who like made content in the space. So for people to stick around and not be making content in the space, that shows a lot to like what they're in, which is Hex.
It's the power of community too, I think, because, you know, I was naming off a lot of names there, and a lot of those I recognize, and I see new ones each week, which is cool. And I see the audience slowly growing in a bear, which is really awesome. I know Randy Hilarski's doing a great job of that over on his channel. He's doing nightly streams, and he's getting tons of viewers in a bear. And, you know, he's all about building in the bear, and good for him. It's pretty awesome. So, yes, Hexkins are the bestikins. Brent Elzik, yes, Cabana and K4K, fair wins. Hex sailing, what's going on? Yes, Joseph hit the like. Glad you all are here for the first stream. Lots of emojis from Erto. But yeah, I do like the up and to the right chart. So yeah.
Hey, the Egyptians talked in emojis as well. So and they built the pyramids or something like that.
Hieroglyph emojis, something like that. So yes. Where's Motley and Big K? Motley's been traveling a lot for the holidays, and Big K should be here shortly. He just messaged me just a bit ago. He's running a little late. Yes, Randy is a good dude. Pumperoni says Richard is the breast. Is that a hieroglyphic? Anyway, hieroglyphic joke. So happy Texan Token Day to you, K4K. Did you free claim or anything?
That launched another thing.
Yeah.
I love the guys behind it. Like I like
yes, I do.
People. I mean, I'm just not. I know Hex is legit, you know, and the code's been good for 3 years. I don't like losing a perfect track record of coins I picked that haven't rug pulled or anything like that, you know, like bugs, flaws. You can have the best intentions, but hey,
and I don't expect a rug or anything.
Project, like here we go. And then how many times does that work out? It's like betting on the new business in town because your friend made it. It's like, well, maybe he's never run businesses before, so it's probably not likely to work out. But this other guy has like a booming, crushing it business, and you're already in that one. Like, okay, maybe you can throw some money at some other things to help your friends. But whenever I have the ear of lots of people, I only want to set them up for like the most likely to succeed thing, not the spread it all around and hope strat like lots of YouTubers use to kind of get rid of any blame later, I guess. You know, everyone should have some modicum of self-responsibility and stuff like that for anything. You know, can't just blame a guy because he had made a YouTube video. But I don't like I don't like when people, they just say, oh, do your own research at the end of the video after talking about 20 different altcoins and all of them fail. Or
if one makes it, then they're like, see, I told you, you heard it here first.
And then they delete the other videos on the other stuff. And I'm like, man, like those people should get crap for that.
Yeah.
You know, they should get like a penalty, like, viewers reduced 50% for like everyone else who was right gets more views. That's how it should go, but that's not really how the algorithm works, unfortunately.
Actually, that'd be pretty cool. That's a pretty cool concept, actually. Maybe do like
The meritocracy.
a blockchain YouTube thing to where it's
True,
programmed
like
that
tracks, but who's the caller of
right.
who is correct and wrong? That's the problem.
We'll
Is
need
a
a
lot of things
YouTube
are subjective.
oracle or something. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. It's too funny. Well, I mean, I guess we can start there. So, I mean, you just, were talking about different coins and whatnot. And we've talked a few, I mean, obviously with PulseChain, I mean, you can't not talk about so many other coins in the ecosystem because I mean, we're getting a full system state copy of Ethereum. So, I mean, we can talk all those ERC20s all day, which we don't really, but there are some in the ecosystem like a Hedron, Icasa, Maximus, that whole platform. Does anything kind of strike you there? I know we haven't chatted in probably months now, but anything that you've seen since then, that strikes you that you think is performing better than you expected, or that you're excited to see on PulseChain?
Things that'll be like, yeah, because I mean, that is one of the big things in the community that causes a lot of people calling contradictory or maxis, because
there's
Hex
even a lot more
plan.
that I didn't mention. I mean, I can trigger people by mentioning Zen. I can trigger people by mentioning Pulse Bitcoin, Pulse Dogecoin. Like, get triggered, everybody, but get used to it because it's all these coins are going to be on PulseChain. And obviously we talk the most Hex, PulseChain, PulseX, and maybe some Hedron and Icasa and whatnot. So I was, joking there a little bit, even though DJ Cryptomatic is, triggered in the chat. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
People can recommend or talk about anything that they want. It's just my own personal choice about what I think is performative and has shown to be in the past. And so some people will take short-term performance and go, boom, I was right. And then, we'll see in a year or two. But and they'll use words Richard uses like, the best time to get in was when everyone called it a scam and there was no liquidity and there was no one talking about it and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, that's also every cryptocurrency that ever starts. It doesn't mean buy every cryptocurrency that ever starts, So people use these things and like twist them to their advantage. But we know Hex is legit, and so I go with that one because I already have so many people that are like brand new to crypto that do contact me, and even like family members or farther away relatives, whatever you call them, cousins or something. And it's already confusing enough to like, understand this one crypto. If I'm like pumping out random other cryptos every other day, they're going to be so overwhelmed. I think it's just too much for some people. So I'm cool with being the guy who gets people into the coins that are already legit and has the best team behind it, and not spreading myself thin just for some extra views. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're a huge advocate for PulseChain and PulseX, but you also can't, talk certain things about them because they don't exist yet, too. So it's not like you can speak factually about, certain parameters. But I mean, the excitement is there, absolutely. And thank you, Crypto King. You rock, man. But what was I gonna say?
Okay, I just gotta say something because there was a guy in the chat. I probably shouldn't even bring it up because they're just gonna do it more. Maybe I shouldn't. But the one guy I just saw someone was like, "Is this the guy who is bearish on Zen or something like that, or the Hex or the Zen or whatever it's called?"
Oh, let's talk Zen.
Right. And I was just like, what in that video wasn't correct that I made? I made these videos about Zen on like day one, just like
I do.
This is probably just gonna dump forever, continually from launch, and it just did. And like, how can people be upset about that? They're like, oh, the long-term vision. Like, just don't buy it. How can you promote a coin that you don't want people to buy? It's disingenuous.
And we have word from Crypto T that Motley is not here because he is minting Zen. So, har. But he says it's no joke. Maybe. But
I mean, there's better and worse tokenomics, and there's better and worse tokens out there. So, you know, you can say, oh, this one builds community, this one builds community. It's like, dude, there's already great network effect with some other ones, and you might be able to be part of the early squad if you jump on a coin right as it comes out and you get to talk about it the most, and you tell all your followers, hey, check this out, I think it's pretty good, you know, great founder or something. And then, yeah, the price might go up, but tokenomics do actually matter in the long run. And hexes are sustainable versus some other ones.
How about this comment from Scott? Zen will bring more adoption and burning to PulseChain. No need to hate on it. K4K.
More burning to PulseChain? I mean, so does any project, you know? It's like, if I... should I just make a meme coin every day and be like, more burning to PulseChain, everybody should follow? Like...
yeah, it's raised like the Ethereum gas fees, like, for every transaction. So that's just awesome, right? So,
hey, what's going on?
What's going on there, Big K? We have all kinds of Ks here. We have a K4K. We have a Big K. We need a Matty K Allin for the Hex Conference. But yeah, what's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. Not too much. I don't know. Just. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I forgot. I have.
What are you doing?
I have for my show and tell. For my show and.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I'm on stream. But so for my show and tell today,
is that short ribs?
No. This is so today is the feast of the Three Kings, and in Puerto Rico, it's a bigger holiday really than Christmas is. I mean, like more stuff's closed, more people are chilling. It's a big deal, and so one of the things that they cook during that is lechon or pork. You know. They do an amazing pork. So we did our first pork butt. There's a giant slab, and you know it's really good when you get this amazing juicy fattiness in the backside of the skin, and this like the crispiest, crunchiest. There it is. Yeah, it's like pork candy. Amazing stuff.
Thank you for that great visual and audio.
Yeah, it's that's how you know it's legit. Like it's when you get that fatty, juicy
pork eating ASMR,
pork up top. Oh man, that's something else.
Yes, welcome to Food
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
So yeah, tonight's beverage and food is pork and hard seltzer. Oh, Topo Chico. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers. With a
cheers.
Propel. I had a few drinks on the shore this past week, so I'm being a good boy on a Friday.
Oh, there you go.
I'll let you know a secret. It's not Gatorade,
but it is.
It's just water.
Okay.
The secret was it wasn't Gatorade.
Yeah, that's the secret.
Brenton
wants to know what part of the pig is that exactly?
The pork butt that we did. I mean, the lechon when they do it like when they do like the people that do it like for real do like a full pig. We were just at a party for New Year's where they did like a full pig.
So you bought the bottom,
but we bought it correct. Yeah, we bought just like there's like a local farm here right nearby that we got this amazing pork butt from. That was like. I mean, it was probably 14, 13 pounds, something like that, about maybe a little bit bigger. And like peel all the skin off. You like cut all that off except for like a chunk of it, and you keep it all like off, and then you stuff it full of all this amazing sofrito mixture of, you know, we got the recipe from legit good Puerto Rican recipe. And I mean, amazing mixture. And then you put the skin back on top and roast it like that, and like flay up the skin in the cross cut sections so that you can pull off chunks like this of incredible crispy.
Oh, that sounds great.
Delicious. Yeah,
it literally sounded great.
Yeah, we heard
there's a reason why the number one killer of Puerto Ricans is heart disease due to the insane amount of salt and fat in the diet. It is good stuff.
Well, I mean, it's tied with. I mean, cancer and heart disease are pretty much, you know, neck and neck.
Well, the heart disease
got
crushes it here. But you can see why everyone's eating pork like it's going out of style. So I'm all about it, and it's awesome. So
Well, welcome to the Hexkin Food and Health Network with dieting and life health tips.
Yeah, I
today.
figured I
Starting
got
off
the pork in my
2023.
one hand and my life advice on my shirt, so I figured I covered all my bases pretty quick.
So how was your New Year's, Christmas, all that stuff? I haven't seen you in weeks there, Big K.
A while. It's been great. It's been great.
Yeah.
Christmas with the fam. We did some Chicago trip. Fun. That was lovely. It was very cold. I mean, like 10 below and beyond below. So like that was.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was single
I got my
digits.
frozen thing on. That was great. And then hightailed it back to warmth as quick as possible. And we did a little New Year's trip down to the other side of the island, and that was cool. It's like weird on the other side, like the one side that we went to, super like arid and deserty, you know, with like these like cliffy rock things along the beach areas, and like the beach is like it'll be super shallow for like real far out, you know, so like the water is like you see waves, but they're like way off in the distance because like you can almost walk like, you know, a mile off a coast or so, you know.
Yeah, that's
maybe not that far, maybe it's like a half mile that it's like super shallow.
Oh, I still love that. That's awesome. That's my
real cool,
my kind of surf there. Hex Conference, you know, one of our health gurus in the community, because she's in the gym all the time. Carbs and sugar are the culprit, not fat. LOL.
Well, I was not so much the fat, which is a thing, but I was also referring to the insane levels of salt in the diet. There's like whether it be the pork or the what is it, the types of rice that they do, the gandules and with the beans and it's super seasoned. It's super seasoned. So like I'm not saying that like the fat. I'm all about the fat. Bring it.
Cypher is all about the carbs and sugar and salt. Day 5 on keto. I know what that's
we
like.
lost Big K.
Oh no, he's frozen.
He's back. On my back. Can you
Yeah,
hear me? Just not see me?
It was very choppy right now, but the audio is only a little bit robotic.
It was if only it would have frozen with that chomp down on the wing. That would have been really
crunch. That would have
you're good now.
Somebody else will freeze frame that one for us. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, I think Spike has already mentioned it in chat that it is, you know, meme city coming. So there we go.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, past couple weeks, I mean, you guys obviously haven't been here. We've had Funding Jim, we've had Jenkins talking charts, you know. So I figured, you know, this week, first week of the year, I mean, we're going to have the Hex Conference, and Matty Allen's going to come by and pump that a little bit here later on. But aside from that, you know, just looking forward to 2023. I mean, where do we start? Do we finally find a crypto bottom? Do we get to Richard's 11K or lower? I guess we can start there with Bitcoin. I mean, if you follow the chart, maybe I can pull it up here. Like if we went straight down to the support line, you know, that's going down and to the right, I think we're at like mid 13s, so we wouldn't be quite there yet, unless we had some sort of COVID black swan where we just dive through, you know, former support and all that. So, you know, I'll just throw it to you, Big K, first of all. I mean, when could we do it? I mean, a lot of people are saying, hey, you know, it depends upon the Fed and markets, which I think a lot of it ties into that. And Richard himself has even said, hey, when they pivot, you know, we're in the all clear. I can't see them pivoting. Maybe late in the year. I think we'll have bottomed before that. And I would think PulseChain has launched then too. But we have a bottom somewhere in our near future, near as in like a quarter or so?
I would like to think so. I think maybe we get a little fake out, break down, you know, something like that. And then, you know, over the next couple months, I mean, it really depends. I agree with a lot of that assessment. Like, I mean, it's one thing when we're niche and small, but once we're a big multi-billion-dollar crypto, you know, we're subject to the forces of the market. So like, you know, yes, if they print the money, then the price go up, you know. So until they printed the money, you know, the price did not go up. So that, you know, sure, there's some outliers in that, like Pulse could launch and we can get some pump action, you know. But if you're paying attention to other coins that are out there, which I am, you know, it's paying attention to other stuff, then like even things that have, you know, good narrative or a good reason for a pump, or a pump that does happen, they're not very, I mean, like people are like oogling over some 3x shit, you know. So like, you know, we're still not there yet, you know, we're just not. And you know, it might, like I said, we might we feel like we're going to get something here, some relief, but it really is just a matter of whether, like, I think a big part of it's going to be whether or not they raise, or when they slow down raising rates, and then how long do they pause in with raise, you know, before they cut rates, if they do at all. You know, they might not cut any rates at all this entire year. You know, they might raise to the end of the first quarter and
raise
and
twice,
then like, and then chill. And then they just, and you know, and if they chill, that's still not, I mean, it's better, you know, but that's still not, you know, printing money. And then like people don't realize that, like, you know, the rates are high enough now to where things like you can go locally here to Banco Popular and get like a 4.6%, you know, 13-month CDs. So like that gives you like 5% over 13 months, you know, on your money. So like that wasn't like what, and 2 years ago when everyone was chasing the illustrious yield, you know, the big part of that, I feel like, was because the traditional markets, there was no, like, I mean, you couldn't put your money anywhere and like get anything. You'd be getting less than 1%, you know.
Yep.
So like the way that people that I know that are older than me, you know, like how I sold Hex to a lot of people was like, hey, you know, that thing CDs that like your parents retired on in the 80s and shit, you know, like
that are getting nothing in interest right now.
Here's Hex. Like here's this thing that's like that. So like, you know, there had like there's going to have to be different narratives and all the rest in a world where your traditional finance, if they raise rates another couple times, then like, you know, you'll be seeing CDs that pay out 6%, you know, in the near future, which I mean is, you know, makes it like, you know, I'm not saying that that's crypto gains by any means. I'm just saying that changes how people move their money around. It just does. So that all being said, I would love to see things turn around and them have to cut some rates or need a reason to, you know, towards the end of the year. That would be really cool. I mean, maybe end of summer, August, something like that, you know, that'd be cool. And like I said, I mean, we still live in a world where we're kind of, we have separate things going on, narratives or whatever, being Pulse and, you know, and PulseX coming out, you know, so there is other things that can, you know, cause some rallies in and of themselves, you know. So I'm not saying that there's not chances for upward price motion, but like if the Fed doesn't lower interest rates, if they don't cut things at all this year, then like, I mean, I'd be hard pressed to think that, you know, that like the crypto goes back up, like that Pulse, or I mean the Bitcoin goes over 20K or 30, you know, 25K again this year. I mean, maybe we chop around and do the choppy thing all year, you know.
I think that's fair.
I mean, that's not the end of the world. I mean, Hex could range between 2 and 10, 15 cents, and I'd be cool with that, you know. I mean, all year, you know, it's not like the end of the world.
No doubt, and especially on 2 chains, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, and like, and that's the thing is that, like, I mean, here's the thing is, if everyone here is paying attention and listening to this stream or anybody's crypto anything right now, like this is us, you know, this is a small clap for you guys, because like it's not easy to stick through. I remember the feeling of like, I was just talking about somebody else yesterday that I was like, the reason why me and so many people around me did so well with Hex was because I stuck it out through the bear market last time. Like I stuck it out the whole time, like stayed through everything, was like when everybody that I know that was even the least bit remotely interested in it stopped talking to me about it, couldn't give a shit less, was telling me about, you know, going fishing or whatever the hell else they were doing, you know, like that was like that's when I found and like came at and figured out that Hex was the thing and got really into it, you know. So like this is the time when like they're the people that wade through this bullshit and accumulate this is where that's all made up. It makes the way to win is to stay through a bear market. It's really hard to do because like after we did the whole year of down, which is like, it's a different type of exciting than the up.
Oh yeah.
But similar in that it's exciting and gut wrenching,
and especially
and
if you're looking to buy an average in, that's exciting.
Oh yeah.
if you're
but like the thing that gets worse is that like this chop around, the year of chop around, where you're like goes from exciting one direction or the other to fucking straight up boring, to like straight up like why even, like why am I even bothering paying attention to this? And like I said, collectively you'll look around and friends, family, other people will be saying the same thing. They'll be like, why are you even bothering? Like that shit's totally done and done, that whatever. But like those are the signals, okay, bottom signals here, this is when I should be accumulating. So it's not the end of the world to see that, like to see the markets do what they're going to do. I mean, it would be way worse if we just see like a full another year of just straight down across the board. That would be, that would be like, okay, what's actually going wrong here? And as the people that controlled the money supply stuff actually really screwing the pooch here? Because if they are, then that's like, everyone's like always like, oh man, it'll be so cool when there's a crypto revolution and fiat's dead. And you're like, no, you're like, I hear what you're saying, but like, you don't want some sort of tumultuous, like insane changing of the guard like that to happen and under your watch, in the sense that like that creates so much volatility. Like I'd rather both systems exist parallel personally, like because like one just become used less or something, because like if we're like going to do a whole violent change, then that's much upheaval, not bad volatility. I don't think that's what we're looking for here.
Yeah. And you talked about kind of like riding through the stormy waters, and I brought this up I guess past couple of weeks, and it feels like right now with PulseChain and all the FUD and everything, it feels like that first month of the adoption amplifier when all the hate was being thrown, and it's like, oh, where did the ETH go? And I mean, it was just max. I mean, if you were there like every day, I mean, YouTube, videos, hating on it, social media was a mess. And then, it turned around gradually, probably like, day 30 to 40, there was a little life there. And then once Godwale that April, sent the candle, then we were off. It was legitimized and it was good. And we're fine. If we make it through, which we are close to doing now. I think we just have a few more months, in my personal opinion, at most. I would say like May is, I think we'll get perhaps a launch. That's my month. But if we made it this far, we're almost there, guys. In my opinion.
think a lot of people earning like paychecks, this is just the best type of phase to be in, because you're just like, boom, I'm gonna put some in, and this is how I benefit majorly, massively throughout the next bull market. Like people, you don't want to be averaging in on the way up bull market. You want to be maybe averaging some out, if anything. So like this is the best time for accumulation.
Yep.
And we may have many more months of that. And a lot of people see that as a downside, but like most people who are in crypto are like new. So you want to get in at these prices. They're like, oh man, I got in and now it's still going down. It's like, yeah, buy more. Buy more. Yeah. Like Richard always regrets not buying more at 2 after he bought it at 30.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So like Bitcoin at 30, like imagine it's like 15x better price or something, like it, even more. It's like 30x better price, because it's like more than 90. It's like 95, 26% down. So that's like a 20x better. He could have 20x his like net worth if he just bought more on the way down. But that he was new to markets as well. He talks about how he used to be that used to be like he was a noob at markets. So he was like, oh, I didn't know limit orders. I didn't know slippage. I didn't know if you just hit buy with market, it just goes through the order book. And so people who are new to crypto and new to Hex are probably like that as well. So if you are like a big investor, or you at least have some amount of cash, you know, you probably want to learn about order books a little bit, and you probably want to set some limit orders, just save yourself from that entirely, and just keep buying. Like DCA, I think that gets memed a lot by the people who are like spamming the leverage trading bot and trying to get people to trade. They're like, oh, but also DCA, but they know they're just getting their audience to go gambling. So it's really weird whenever those guys promote it. But in Hex, it actually makes sense because we're holding for long term. Because just look what Bitcoin and Ethereum did. The people who held it or forgot about it did better than everyone else who ever traded it, ever. Just end of story. Period.
Yep. Yeah, and a lot of positive DCA comments in the chat I'm seeing, which is awesome. Like that's what you want to see out of like your community. And you know, I've brought some of these already up before, but Daniel and Ben. And
it's the only sustainable strategy, really.
Yeah. Where's Crypto Knights? Bought Hex 17 times, average buy was 14, and brought it down to 5.5 cents now. So you just get close to a double here, and you're in the black. And that's the definition basically of DCA and how to do it correctly. Because once the asset does turn around, thinking it does turn around,
you get to buy the world's best performing assets at a huge discount. Like that's just, I don't think people soak that in enough. Like, yeah, you can buy something that 95% off that will probably go back to all-time high. Yes, that means you might 20x your money. Yes, it might go higher than that. You just have to wait. A lot of people are like, nah, it'll just go down forever. And you're like, well, you do you then. Just look at the chart. And look, we've done this before.
People that call me that like on this way down where we're at like 1.8 cents, and people calling me freaking out about it, and I'm like, well,
feels like the bottom then.
Yeah, and you
get the phone calls, and
you're like, dude, you made the stakes for like do you have a stake coming up soon? And they're like, not for another year or two. And I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Wow. Can we talk then? Can we talk then? And you can like be upset with me then, because like you got plenty of time. Relax. You know, you're not selling right now. Who cares?
There you go. What else we have on here? So asked this to Big K, or not Big K, K4K, too many Ks on the show.
4K, that's 5 Ks. So
lots of Ks. Well, yeah, K4K, 6 Ks, maybe. K.
Well, I was just counting the Ks in the name, but I guess also if you
multiply,
like
perhaps?
he has 3 Ks in Kurkowski, and I've got 2 in mine. Like K, anyway.
When K shares.
He owns 3/5 of the share.
That's a long time away. We got to go through B's and M's and then we would get to K shares eventually. It'll probably take like 25 years for that to actually be
part of a lifetime. But yeah,
dude, I'm so excited for the V. Like when V3 comes out, oh man! And I think 2023 is going to be a good year for everybody involved. I'll just say that.
Well, you've had a lot of.
There's so many things like
of videos and tweets about this. I mean, we can, let's do a very original segment here.
We're just
going to make one up right now. It's called Tweets by K4K.
It's its own segment, all right.
Featuring real tweets from K4K. So here we go.
All right.
And you can offer some commentary on this. I mean, you've put out a bunch of videos and whatnot, so we're not going to play all the videos, but just run through some of these. So this was a new video on Hex staking ladders.
Mm-hmm.
You have obviously your Patreon. You can feel free to plug that as well. What inspired you to put this one out? Because I guess possibly because we're DCAing, or a lot of people are DCAing. It's a great time to, put together a ladder.
I realized I had never actually fully explained some of the benefits of a Hex ladder. So I think a lot of us who have been around since like the beginning, we're like, oh yeah, Hex ladder, you know, you do it, it's obvious, and because then you get this ever growing stake every year that's actually more yield than if you just did a 1 year end it, 1 year end it, you know. And so I kind of made the video describing all those benefits of just a Hex staking ladder. So that's in the video. And you know, it's free on YouTube as well. It's just that the unedited version got uploaded to my Patreon like a day earlier. So, you know, you get a little early access on Patreon and direct connection if you want to ask specific questions and get all the answers. So that's what the Patreon's for. But I thought it was a great idea to come up with, you know, a Hex staking ladder tool that I think it's possible to create with some of the developers we already have in the community who have done already things involving NFTs. Like Hedron has, you know, you can make HSIs. Well, if you can make an HSI, I feel you can make an HSL, which would be a Hex staking ladder. Inside, it's just one NFT that represents a whole staking ladder. And then it would, all people do is you get your Hex, you want a staking ladder, you can set up the parameters in one little UI, send the Hex in, boom, you get your NFT. It represents all those stakes and however you wanted to parse it out. You want to get paid every 6 months? You want your yield to come out every 6 months? Boom, you choose that. Your decision. You want it every year? That's your decision. You can make it customizable exactly how you want it. We could add art to it or something. Doesn't really matter. But you can trade your stuff. Like you can trade your NFT that's art. It literally produces yield that you can scrape off or take the principal out of 1 year if you wanted to. But anything you don't, you can decide to send it to like the perpetually make whatever the end stake is, like the last one, you would just push out whatever you don't need, and you push that out until as far out as you can go, basically. And so what this eventually does is you have these just way better yield producing stakes every year or every whatever 6 months you wanted to make it. And it's all in one little NFT that you can see the growing yield in, as opposed to managing like 15 separate stakes or, you know, 30 if you did it, you know, with smaller time increments and having to manage all those in separate transactions and stuff. So I just think it's a much cleaner way and would actually encourage staking because people want to get these NFTs that are just, it looks like you can see all the yield building up in it. And then you just scrape it and then you push them out further and it makes it more simple as opposed to people having to manually think out, all right, let me think 365 days from this day and I'll put it out there now again, or I'll put it out whatever the 15 years because I just finished my first year. So then I want to have it rolling out again. It's all explained in the video, but I just think it encourages more buying of Hex because it's no new token. It's literally just a tool for you to inject Hex into to create your own NFT that represents your laddered stakes. And you're just like, boom, that's mine. I got it. And it just simplifies it all.
Boom.
That's why I made it.
Well, that's outstanding. I appreciate that thorough explanation. And we have plenty of comments to go through on the staking topic. But before I bring those up and resume our tweets by K4K segment, we do have Matty Allin. What's going on?
What's up?
How's
So
it going,
there
guys?
might be like
Sir.
kind of like a big deal happening the next 4 days. Would you like to tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm blown away by how great this community is. Look, the price of Hex went up today, and I did a little bit of research, and I did a survey, and 1,200 people already filled it out on Twitter, and like.
Yeah, we brought that up earlier.
Almost half of the people thought it was
the question,
coincidence, including Cabana. I said the price of Hex is up 27%, and the 4-day online hexconference.com starts tonight. Do you think they could be related, or is it a coincidence? And so I went back through as I was listening to the start of your show. I went back through and I looked. There have only been 9 days in the past year since the last time we had a Hex conference that the price of Hex even went up how much we closed, which is 13%. And
Wow.
guess what?
That's a bear market. Holy crap.
Three of those
It's been that
those
bad?
other days, like
my gosh.
two of those other days were on Hex conferences. So the March Hex
All right.
conference and the Hex conference last year. So it's totally related. People love buying when they see the community come together.
So let's buy all the way through Monday at midnight when Richard Hart is set to be chatting, I think. So here we go. And then everybody run for the exits. Kidding.
I saw Richard
I see a lot of people are
retweeted your thing
staking
as
too,
well.
like for long
Really?
periods of time. So that's good. We just had like 2.5 million staked for 10 years a couple hours ago. So they're
There has
staking.
been some other significant stakes I saw other than the God Whale that have been happening. Like not small amounts of Hex being locked up for long amounts of time. Like I think at least 6 figures to millions of dollars locked up for years. Like that doesn't happen in Ethereum or Bitcoin. It just doesn't happen. They don't have that. They don't have that.
Bono Vox has a great comment. Let's do a conference every week. So
That's a great idea.
I think we'd wear Maddie out, but but if it's worth it, I think he'd do a conference every week if the price action, kept up with that performance.
Let's do it.
If somebody was to give me some statistical evidence that proved that was the case, I would do a weekly conference. I'd be up there. Let's do it again.
So Maddie, did you have the schedule, or I have one I can pull up here? If you wanted to, I guess, go over, just whatever
absolutely.
you want to talk about here.
And, this is awesome. So
an
I'm going to
overview.
share my screen.
Okay, you got it. Never mind. I will cancel mine.
And so the conference is starting in 2 hours. There's already 55 people waiting on the landing page. And it's going to start off with a 4-person panel: Crypto Coffee, Crispy Man, Hex Monkey, and Mark Wild. And that I think people are going to agree that that's a great lineup to start with.
Yep.
Because they're all experts on Hex, they're all OGs, and
Mark wrote a book. So.
Yeah, they're authors. 3 out of 4 of them are authors.
Well, of course, Coffee did. Yep.
3 out of 4 of them are also programmers. So you'll be able to see that I chose the lineup this year to try to create overlap and great conversations, like you guys have on this show.
Hey, thank you. What else is going on this evening? We have 18 speakers, 3 minutes each. That's jam-packed. Hour 2, I guess.
I know, right? That's going to be a new record for Sticker Guy and I.
Wait, oh my gosh, that is a slot. I didn't even notice that. 18 speakers, 3 minutes. Good luck monitoring that.
Thank you. I will take all the luck I can get. So,
I think you already did with that only breaking clavicles from that insane car crash. So
no, I feel like you're just trying to. Now you're just trying to show off, Maddie. Now you're just trying to
yeah, how are you? How are your clavicles, man?
Well, so man, like progress is not linear. When it comes to physical recovery from an injury, and I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So it's like some days I'm okay, and other days it hurts a lot. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm keeping a positive attitude, and being able to stream also, like it takes my focus off of the pain and off of the boredom. So it's good.
Excellent.
Now, by popular demand, talk number 1 is going to be Alex.
Hey,
nice.
Just added. So
that's right. That's
right.
Awesome.
And then we have Dev RTH is going to be doing the second talk. Well,
is that the bridge dev guy?
Yes.
Dude, I noticed him on the GitLab for like PulseX and PulseChain. He's on one of those. And why is his profile picture and it's all about like sniffing glue or something like that? What is that about? It's like kind of funny, but it's also like, what? All right. I think they just have an interesting personality. I haven't heard them speak before, so I'm curious to see what they have to say.
Yeah. It should be a good one. And
which is worse for you, sniffing the glue or eating the glue?
It's like it must be some like anime thing because it's like an anime show. Or
How much do
background.
you want to be entertained? So I would
I don't know.
ask.
It's pretty tame for crypto Twitter, so I guess that's fine. We'll take
Yeah.
it.
And then we're gonna have some tutorials by Fashion Coder and Crypto Coffee.
On what? Do you know yet?
PLS for Fashion Coder and
Oh.
Hex for Crypto Coffee.
All right.
I'm down with some Pulse content.
Yeah,
Do-
yeah.
do what
Hopefully people
Crypto
don't
King
get too
says.
offended with the.
Dude, if
content.
everybody has time, share the link. Just
Yeah, I'll
retweet
share it right after this stream, probably.
Yeah.
That way it's fresh.
Yeah.
And then Kinetics is going to be speaking about the Hex Investment Trust, I believe, for the first half of the keynote. And then the second half is going to be Johnny Chaos.
Cool.
Oh, nice. I like when
Outstanding.
Johnny has things to say.
Yeah.
Was that you, Maddie, who made a post saying like, what other community does this type of thing? Let me know. Because like I think that too sometimes about a lot of the things that go on in the Hex community. Like, are we the only community that like really gathers around, does these events, and it's all like self-funded, and it's like all the community's hard work just coming together, teaming up, and we're like, yeah, we do it because we love it. Like no other community really does it like that.
Not like we
there's somebody who has been around a lot of schedules in my day for events of all different kinds. You have found a way to pack in an insane amount of information in what is one sheet of information. One sheet here? It's pretty.
Thank you.
It's pretty incredible. I mean, and I'm like, there's aesthetically there's parts with the times over here, that's tough but like I understand why it is how it is, and like how else you're gonna do it, I don't know. So like I get it, man. It's because like again you're like not only just doing like a schedule for an event at a time and place, but it's also all these different people are going to be logging in from all around the world at different times and shit. It's that's quite an endeavor. So
Thank you.
kudos on your schedule making.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a huge skill to have.
Well, and it just evolves, as you guys have seen, because you guys were around for the first Hex conference, and so we're gonna set a record here with the 18 people on panel 2, which is hour 2, and then and remember that's where everybody's on screen one at a time for 3 minutes, giving their testimonial, and then for the social, that'll be where everybody's on screen at once, the 9 individuals who are listed here, and that'll be really exciting to see. And then the rest of the conference is going to proceed with a women's panel, including Hod Pearl, a Wild SJ, Fashion Coder, and Jory. That'll be hour 1 tomorrow. And then Maximus Dow, Tanto Nomanai will give a talk. I'll give a talk on Time Pays Me. Papa B will give a talk on security. And then,
Nice.
Hey, here's some
You're
familiar names. There's going to be a panel with Big Kurkowski, Cabana Crypto, Dollar Cost Crypto, and Toby One Hexobi.
That
I know those
panel's
guys.
lit. I see you in the chat, Dollar Cost Crypto. What's up?
Yeah, he's sneaking in.
Hey.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. I'm excited for that.
I'm not sure what inspired Richard Hart to suddenly start tweeting about T-shirts today, but if it wasn't this, it could have been. Crypto Sparbach will be giving their third kind of sequential or third annual speech about the power of T-shares. And they're teaming up this year with hexfire.io, which is a great resource for more in-depth information.
Awesome to help them visualize even more of what they're saying. That was one of my favorite parts of the first one. And I think a lot of people actually said that because they took a deep dive into T-shares right from the beginning, and compared to a lot of the rest of the conference, like they had a full-on presentation. I mean, it was just wonderful the way they organized it and came to play. So looking forward to them as always.
Dude, there's gems on this thing. I guess I didn't fully look at it. Aubrey DeGray speaking again. Dude, awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw the picture. They got all the mice already.
Oh, awesome.
They
Yeah,
got
yeah.
like the big shipment of it. They had all the boxes like stacked or whatever. It's awesome. They're doing the testing and of all of those different health improvement outcomes on all these mice at the same time and doing it in a scientific way. It's like, dude, yes, please do this research to prove the concept so we can see and encourage people to change their mindset about longevity and rejuvenation. Like, you can, if we cure these things, you can live like as long as you want. Like, that's so cool.
And that's
like hopeful to
longer
me.
stakes
That's
right
awesome.
there. Yeah. It's
Like, who doesn't
beautiful.
want to be healthier? Like, just be healthier. If you're healthy, you usually don't die. That's all it is. You just stay healthy. Oh, I didn't get unhealthy? Guess I'm good. Like, that's how it needs to be explained to people, as opposed to like, oh, do I want to die when I'm 80? You're like, I'll be old and it'll suck. It's like, no. You feel like you do now. Do you want to die tomorrow? No. Well, then you probably want this technology.
Well, we're gonna need all the help we can get talking about longevity, and so that's definitely I've got some good tea I can't spill yet for the longevity segment of the Hex conference. Now Crypto Sparbuck, they've actually traded days. The last 2 years they went on the first day, and this kind of opens up a fun game that we could all play as I pause in the run through of the Hex conference schedule. So I want each of you to guess what the viewership is going to be on the first day today. And then maybe we can all help to get the viewership up on the second day because Crypto Sparbuck switched their day. But in the past, I know the first year of the Hex conference, day one got 5,000 views. Okay. And the second year, last year, it got 20,000 views on the first day. So typically the second day has gotten half as many. But I'm hopeful this year because the Hex price is pumping, because we're in a bear market. Everybody like has not had a chance to see the community come together all at once. I wouldn't be surprised if we could get I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we could get 20,000 each day because Richard Hart got 60,000 views on a Hexologist on his stream just not too long ago.
I think we were just coming off like the PulseX sacrifice though last year, so I have to consider there was a huge hype right then.
All right, well,
I'm excited to see.
Why don't you guys guess?
I hope so. I don't want to.
I'm gonna do my best to encourage viewership. I will be watching for sure.
I hope for 25,000 viewers.
Awesome.
Oh, Big K, you stole mine. All right.
We're supposed to guess? Oh, I didn't know that.
29,069.
Awesome.
There we go. No pressure, K4K.
20,001.
No,
nice.
Playing the Price is Right. All right. I didn't hear Maddie say there was a rule if you went over.
A whole year of bear market is still huge in my opinion, to viewership in general. But I mean, I'm pretty psyched about this year's lineup. So I'll be watching.
Crypto gets dead. It becomes straight crickets in here. The longer this bear market continues. So the fact that for everybody out in the chat is still here, that's still cool. That's so cool because there's a lot of people that are still hanging out watching our shit, and everybody that does show up, that's super awesome because I guess saying before, I remember last time around it got pretty echoey. So
cutting out a little bit, Big K.
Yeah, Big K is
Mr.
Robot.
Perhaps we'll pause. Oh, okay, now you're all right. So yeah,
guys, I don't know. I'm hardwired in. Elon, why is my Starlink?
Are you Starlink?
Yeah, I'm Starlinked, man. I'm hardwired into the box.
Yeah,
and it's not even cloudy out right now.
It's not even cloudy, man. Hey, Maddie. I think there might be a little confusion in the chat because there's a disparity in numbers that people are putting in there. So there is a difference between live viewers and views in the day. So do you
Total
recall
views.
what kind of
Total-
like
total.
live viewers we had? Because there's one set guessing that number, but I think what Maddie is referring to is like, after the first day, how many people will have viewed it. So that's the the big number.
Yeah, I was just going off of total views. Most people
Yeah.
don't watch stuff after it's been out for a week, but I think that I mean, I could go back and look and see where the live viewership was, because that's pretty interesting. It seems to me that it was around like 500 people watching live, which it's really impressive. I don't know, maybe it was 1,000, but it's really impressive that always we get like 10x the viewership asynchronously, like after the fact.
55K or bust. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like Crypto Gains Club, he went higher.
The Fashion Coder has a
Like the idea.
I don't, and maybe others too, but I know Fashion Coder just tweeted out, and Richard retweeted that they're having in Utah. I'm not sure which city it was, but
Salt Lake City.
Yeah, Salt Lake City. They're having a viewing party for the Hex Conference. So, that could be
Cool.
20, 30 people probably. I'm not sure how many people they are hosting, but that's pretty cool. They're having in-person meetups for a crypto thing. That, like, I love the in-person stuff. We got to get back to more of that, I feel like.
Yeah, totally. I might do a meetup this year. If I do, it'll be in Texas.
Okay.
That was my next question. So you put a poll out, and what were the final results of that? Because it was quite close, I believe. And did you make a decision from that, or is that TBD?
Well, I mean, like, Elon said he would quit being the CEO of Twitter and he would abide by the survey.
And I saw that you said something like that in your poll.
Yeah, and then Mario, he said he would stop doing Twitter Spaces. And then
I've seen him do.
He
Twitter
got voted
Spaces,
out
though.
too, but he still does them.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a Hexican and I live by the Truth Engine, so I'm really glad that Texas won, because that's what I wanted to do.
And y'all can
you should have
celebrate
just said
Texas
like Texas
token.
or Antarctica, and then you just easy Texas.
Oh, that would have been way better.
Dude, the Truth Engine is the only reason I have this darn beard.
Yeah, but if you try and do something like that to the internet will choose Antarctica on you. So
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
You cannot tempt the internet like that.
You'll be naming your boat Bodie McBoatface before you know it.
Yeah, true. The internet would just be like Antarctica, LOL.
Yeah. Don't give them that opportunity. You give these kids an opportunity, and they will.
All right, you can't lose with this one. Texas or Texas. There you go. I got him.
Now,
all right, moving on to day 3 here. Crypto Gains Club is bullish, by the way. It's going to.
Right.
This conference is going to break all records. Hex, PulseX communities are ready for action. All right, let's see it.
Yeah,
let's
see.
So, Crypto 7, he always brings a lot of good energy, and he's been cross promoting the Hex conference as well. So, he's starting off day 7. Nerd Girl, also, these 3 personalities really are awesome. They're each going to give a 20-minute talk. Nerd Girl for talk 8, Randy Hlarski for talk 9. And as you guys said earlier on the stream, like, Randy's been drawing in a huge crowd by just being so consistent and speaking his truth on it's more than weekly and it's less than daily, but he streams regularly. So, and then we got Crypto Heartbeat, Rags to Riches, Ashley Ash, and KG. Just a kind of a tip to throw out there is there were a number of speakers I asked if they were comfortable only talking about Hex, and and nobody said no to that. So that's kind of cool that there is some fidelity, but people are willing to do it too. Instead of it just being like a mandate or something. And of course, we got Kareem here, who he was on my Tuesday night show for over a year, and so I'm really excited to have him on this explosive panel with Access Alive, Hex Ray Vision, and Gold Key. That's going to be really exciting for day 3.
Kareem away from the club. I'm excited to see him again.
I mean, there's no guarantee that he won't stream from a club.
This is true.
Yeah, that would be cream. Popping bottles on the stream.
Hey, Big K, can we get a crunch real quick?
Oh yeah.
Thank you. All right. Continue, Maddie.
And then we got now Aubrey DeGray. He's founded his third longevity research foundation. He had co-founded Methuselah Foundation, which is still a major player that Vitalik donates to regularly. And then Aubrey broke off Sens to be the Senolytics like cellular division of Methuselah, but to be completely separate. And then now he's started the Longevity Escape Velocity Foundation. And I can't exactly remember like exactly what's public about their finances and how everything got worked out favorably. So I'll just leave it to them to explain like why it's so cool that they're speaking at the Hex Conference. And that'll be the,
you almost
that'll be
spilled
the
some tea
keynote.
there.
Hey, a little tea, smelling it.
Yeah. That'll be the keynote there. And then we got these amazing 9 speakers again for 60 minutes, all on screen at the same time. And they'll be speaking for the Hex Social Hour 5 on day 3. And then a drum roll, please. We have day 4, Monday night. It's going to be a 4-person panel starting off with Corey Costa, Furu Finance, Ben Dubard, and RH Max. Then we've got 20-minute talks from Steph of Staker app. Not pronounced Ox, Steph. Not, seeing some mistakes there. It's 0x. I thought it'd be good to include, but maybe it's a bad font or something.
Or OX, but yeah, Ox Steph. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, an ox is pretty close to a bull. So
there you go. Fair.
Then we got Hex Tangent and our very own K4K Crypto.
Oh, I hear that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Look out.
And then every other year, I take the honor of interviewing Richard as a part of the Hex Conference. And so last year I did not do it, but the first year I did. So that'll be something to look forward to. Let's see. I've already agreed to ask for an Easter egg.
Oh yeah, and he said
no, like I agreed like with the Hex community that definitely be a question I would ask.
True, because he always gives us one if you ask. But yeah, so
you have to ask.
Yeah.
So that'll be really cool, and no expectations, but I think it was really cool that the last time he gave an update on Twitter, I looked at it was the most respectful any crypto audience has ever been in the history of the world. And that's pretty important because Richard, he doesn't like people being disrespectful whenever he gives updates, and he like quit giving updates for a super long time because people were being mean when he would update. So I think it's really cool that last time he gave an update, people were not mean. Maybe
I think in human psychology, they're like, oh man, if I do bad, I get nothing instead of something. So people would rather get something than nothing.
2024.
So they're like, I won't complain. I won't complain.
So but that's like a word of advice to everybody is like, that's the pattern. Whether you like it or not, that's what it is. So so that'll be cool that RH will be doing a keynote as well for the Hex Conference. And then last year we did a spotlight where it's one hexagon at a time for 6 minutes. I always like loved the time when the 9 of us were on with Richard all at the same time. We like all pointed in different directions, and then we figured out the right direction to point and got that group picture. But the truth is that whenever you have a large panel like that with Richard, it tends to end up getting monopolized by whoever's like interrupting the most or kind of like whatever. And so the format of people going one at a time, that seemed to work really, really, really well, because then there's no talking over, there's no awkward moments where nobody knows whose turn it is and everything. So
Wait,
that
is that one at a time talking to Richard, or is it just those people on the panel talking amongst each other 6 minutes at a time?
Just one at a time on screen with Richard.
With Richard. Word.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to
that's a good way to do it.
I'm going to introduce people, and I'm going to say like the reason why I think the person who's being introduced is like such a valuable member of the Hex community. So I'll be just introducing people and then hopping off screen. So
I think Sticker Guy is going to need more than 6 minutes.
I know, right?
Dude, that was such a good video of him like in person with Richard, and he had his little tablet sheet out. And he's like, "Wait, I got more questions.
One more question."
And Richard's just like, keep rattling him off. I got you. He just kept answering them. It was awesome.
Well, and he's also the stage manager. And so all the speakers, actually half of the speakers this year said that they're new, that they didn't do it last year, which didn't seem right, but that's what people said in the survey. Like that's what the number said. So
well, apparently you didn't get my survey, but
yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
That's
mine
weird.
either.
I finished it like the day you sent it to me because I had time. I was like, oh, I'll just do it now.
Knock this out right now. Yeah, we were too prompt. K4K.
Yeah.
Oh, you did it the same, like right away.
So.
Yeah.
So so just for people to know, like whenever I'm running the show on screen, I'm hopping on and off screen, and so my attention is really split in a million different ways. So if you need anything, if you need to communicate with me and you're a speaker and something's up, then you'll message Sticker Guy Win, and it's the same on Twitter and Telegram. I think he prefers Telegram. And also the speaker's Telegram room is a private Telegram room where you're going to get the instructions that include show up half an hour before you're supposed to be on screen. And that way we can test your audio and video and make sure that we can test everybody else's audio and video at the same time before it's your turn to go on screen. So if we all work together and help promote the Hex Conference and just do our best to show up, then that's I think it's gonna be really great.
Thanks for putting this on, Maddie. Very
outstanding. Looking forward
to it. It does take a lot of work to get this many people organized to even show up for like 1 hour or something like that. But you got like so many people, different days, multiple hours.
I mean, you got dollar cost crypto on a panel. Like that's like herding a cat from my experience. So congratulations.
Yeah. I had to fly out to Vegas and like hang out with them in person to.
Oh, okay. So that's the secret. All right. Holla back, dollar cost. All right. There we go.
Yeah. Well, look, it's my honor, and like the online conference, it's something that's way easier than in person. But at the end of the day, I'm willing to put in all the work I can because the community is outstanding. And, it's just this is like my dream job is to be coordinating with people who are making a difference in the world.
I just think it's a really efficient way and valuable way to like get more value out of the community by bringing everyone out into like the sunlight in a way. In like one spot, you're like, oh, all right, I like this topic. And oh, there's some new people with some people I already know about. And you kind of get introduced to just way more than all separate, segregated all over YouTube and Twitter. It's like some people aren't on Twitter. So some people never hear about some certain people. So if they're talking for the first time here, like you said, half the people, that's a lot of new introductions that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So you're like making that network effect literally work in front of our eyes for inside our community and outside as well. So,
yeah,
it's valuable. Appreciate that.
Maybe someday I'll talk Big Kurkowski into teaming up with me for a in-person meetup.
There you go.
Well, that's true. I guess Big K, because I've been to two different. I've been to like the PulseCon and was it 2 Hex conferences?
I haven't made it to Vegas since the first Hex conference that we did in Vegas way like what 2021. So like I haven't been to either of the other two yet or at all. So I've been the movie stuff and Island stuff and all the rest. So haven't been doing much, but man, maybe the live event would be fun to do this year again.
Hexkin Greenhorn has a suggestion, Maddie. I don't know if it's
What's
too
that?
late, but make sure Sticker Guy talks to Richard Hart last.
That's the way it has to be done because he's the one getting everybody ready to go on screen. So there's no choice there.
I see what you did there, Hexkin Greenhorn. You funny person, you. So yeah, awesome. And time frame. So it's like a little over 90 minutes from now, right? To make sure we have all of our time zones correct.
That's right.
So yeah, 96 minutes from now. So
that's like a soccer game.
We will wrap before then, but we have a lot of other things to get to whet the old appetite here. And yeah, I think I'm on like a social panel tonight. I think you put my Telegram handle in there, but
yeah,
I'll set the alarm and get back up again for that one. So good
awesome
stuff.
Well, hey, I should probably run to like keep getting everything tested and ready. But thank you so much for having me on. You guys are all like leading the community in really awesome ways. So you guys rock. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maddie.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, looking forward to tonight and the next four days is gonna be awesome. So
yeah,
so cool. Thanks,
awesome.
Maddie.
Peace,
Peace
Maddie.
out, guys. See you later.
Later, brother.
All right. Well, if you weren't already excited there, we still have K4K, Big Kurkowski, and I am now Cabana Crypto with K's. So we're all good. We're all on the same page. It's
Nice.
a K-a-thon when K shares. So before Maddie came on to pump the old conference there, we were talking about staking ladders, and I said I'd saved a couple questions and just wanted you guys' takes on them just regarding those ladders. So Blaine had one question or scenario. Everyone talks about ladders, but I personally like the idea of one big stake, then rotate to yearly with only selling yield.
I mean, you can each year that you roll over your stake, you'll get a shittier T-share rate. So like, ideally, I'd break that up so that you can get better
lock in the
share rate. So like, if you're planning on having stakes come out, you want yearly for the next 15 years, then I'd break up that one big one into 15 little ones, over the whole time, and then you can wait them out however you'd like, however you feel comfortable with, but like that's that I would do, because like I think that like because in 10, and the T-share rate's gone from 10,000 to what is it now,
25,000 almost or
something,
more.
So it's 2.5x higher to stake now than it was 3 years ago. So I mean, it makes a difference.
I see what he's saying. Like, you want to lock in that, like, I'd rather put a big, massive one out, but I still want to keep some and just keep rolling that in for 1 year stakes. But it just seems like a bigger bet on the way end side, as opposed to like you can spread out how much capital you're going to be getting over the years, and it's just better to do a real ladder as opposed to that big bet one. It's almost like you might as well just do it all long term. Like, and if you can do that, that does technically give you the highest potential return, but you have the highest potential risk and no income in the meantime. So I'd rather have a more steady, gradually growing stream every year than it's the same stream or less each year until the very end. And you're like, well, I don't know. It's up to you how you want to spread out. That's just, like I said, that's how he likes to do it. And you can model it out and see how it feels for yourself on your capital. But I like larger growing every year.
Most are going to get a 10% bonus on your bigger pays better, like, at most. So if you're a giant whale, you're still like, even the 10% bonus every year that you get won't account for the T-share growth, like anywhere near it, so like, I think that I'm not opposed. Like I said, I'm not saying you shouldn't have some money that's on a smaller time frame in life, but I just thought
of another possibly fatal flaw to that plan as well is you're not, people don't go, I'm going to hold Hex for 15 years and then forget about it. If it is as good as we think it is, it's probably going to continue decades after that. So wouldn't you rather have 15-year stakes perpetually coming out after every year? Like every year is 15-year stake that I thought about 15 years ago because I actually built my ladder right. Instead of like, oh, my big one came out and now I just have the worst share rate possible because I don't have anything that's from 15 years ago anymore. It's only the last year. So you ruin having perpetual 15-year ladders in that strategy that Blaine suggested. That's how I see it. I'd rather have the perpetual 15ers coming out every year or every 6 months, than I'm back to square one basically, but I got a big stack once, Yeah.
Let's see.
The mental pressure of also like, now I have to watch the price all the time forever. I'm constantly worried about it. Like when I'm more staked out as I am, like, have I enjoyed, the bear market? I mean, to some degree, sure, but not entirely, like to some degree, not really. But like, I mean, I also feel pretty comfortable with my stuff and haven't I'm not like, I don't have to sell a bunch of Hex at all, so it's not like I'm in a position that, requires, me to like stress about it. If I had like a rolling stake every year that was like most of my stack, I'd be insanely cautious about, I'd be paying attention. I'd be paying a lot of closer attention all the time. Just a thought.
That guy brought up a good, talking point though. I hadn't thought about someone trying that. I'm curious maybe they have reasons of why they did that I'm not thinking of at the time. So, but my first thoughts were, like you heard, you mess up that perpetual 15-year best return type of thing. In the future.
A couple more comments. Benny Blanco, throw out as far as possible, work forward, fill in. The point is T-share preservation. I've seen that mentioned a few times in the chat. Toby One, kind of similar here. Start with your longest 5-5-5-5, then backfill your ladder. I have stakes coming out every 3 months for 15 years. That's impressive. Nice quarterly action there. Spread out evenly. Just look at when the most and least amount of stakes are coming out. Richard Hart's advice.
Chart of future market supply, only coin in the world that has it. That's SARS. How cool is that?
Hex.vision, I think, was the first site to have it. We have more sites that have that now. I mean, we have so many good sites. Does Hexfire have something like that?
I think we also have the most community-run sites ever as well. And it's like we don't even talk about it because we've just known it for so long. It's normalized for us. We're like, oh yeah, we have the most, third-party hosted sites from the community. It's like kind of a big deal when you're talking about decentralization in crypto. Yeah. It's like that's what you want. That's the value. It's like no one can shut it down. All this information's out there, different front ends, different people running it. It's awesome.
Blaine, great conversation. Yeah, that was your question. Great question. So it was a good question. Great topic. Hextoshi, my ladder consists of over 200 stakes. You peeps better get your ladder right. Oh, that's impressive if you have them all spread out evenly. And I mean, 15 years is a pretty long time. So I mean, that's more than 10 stakes a year. So wow. All right. Well, good job. Good evening, Rick in the 305. Say hi to Pitbull for me. DJ Cryptomatic. I'm building perpetual 15s as well going forward. Yep. And some more comments there. Benny Blanco. The longer your duration, the more chance you'll slide up in the staker ranking just by doing that. Set it, forget it. Listen in to these whippersnappers talking about perpetual 15-year ladders. I'll be 62 when my first 15-year stake ends. I'll be lucky to live that long. Well, Aubrey DeGary and company will be on the Hex Conference to talk about possibly living longer. So yeah.
And you can give it to your family. It's not like you just lose it forever,
Yep.
And 62 is not old, I don't think.
No, it's high 40s, I guess what they used to be, right? Or something like that. Or it's the new high 40s, if I'm saying it right. Crypto Games Club, my strategy is using Hex T-shares like a tool for generational wealth. I think that's pretty much how Hex was designed, really. And if you use it properly, then yeah, it literally is a tool. Like you are able to, use its flexibility to tailor to your, life needs. I mean, obviously you can't tell what the future will be in 15 years, but say like we had someone who had quarterly stakes out, at least you would have something that frequent, which is every few months, coming out. And, if you're like to think, that far ahead, there you go. There's an idea.
And all the perpetual airdrops, people just give you stuff for free. Like how much free stuff have we gotten as Hex stakers? And that adds up to thousands and thousands of dollars for some people. Sometimes tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands for free. Like no one even believes it. They're just like, oh, you mean you did this thing a while ago and then people give you free stuff later too? Yep. Yep, that happened. We clicked a few buttons and you just money.
We got free Texan tokens. So there you go. Big K had some of his. That's why he was a little late to the show. He was selling them. I kid.
Yeah, there's Texan, I think. That just came out. There's also that other one that's coming out. But it's going to be soon too for Hex stakers. I can't remember the name of it.
People are hungry to buy something this bear market, so I don't think we're going to have a lack of buyers when PulseChain and PulseX come out.
The weight token, that'll be fun.
There's that. Yeah.
Can't remember the one. Pleb did a free claim for Hex staker or Hex holders, I guess, and a lot of other coins.
PulseChain airdrop is a thing as well. Just double up. That's awesome, and I bet that we'll have more of those folks too.
Like free coins.
That's why long term just beats everything. The people who sold and traded and lost their stack and stuff like that, they don't get the airdrops. They're also using centralized exchanges. They get no airdrops. There's no address to be tied to get free stuff. It's Hex is amazing, dude. It locks you into the best strategy. You're like, oh man, I got the best strategy. Darn it. You can only screw it up by doing the emergency button.
This is true. All right. Well, let's get back to our Tweets by K4K segment featuring real tweets by K4K.
I hope you got. I mean, they're all good ones, but
he's like, they're all good. They're all good. I mean, I don't have a bad tweet out there. No, I cherry picked just the bad ones. All right. So we are talking Hex. So let's stay on Hex for another minute here. Huge Hex stake coming due. This is another tool of Hex. We're talking about Hex being a tool. Huge Hex stake coming due and price super high, but don't plan on selling it yet? ? Good time to use good accounting. Only mint your coins once you're in a large dip. Less ROI means less tax obligation in some places. Now that, the good accounting feature is a tool, as I said earlier, but you also had, I guess, some pushback in your comments here, Big K. So was there some misunderstanding, or what kind of arguments did we have here?
Well, someone said, and I figured it would happen because I thought about it too before I even posted it. I was like, oh, let me think. Oh no, this still makes sense. So then I posted it. But the guy or two people were like, why isn't it better just to sell it when it's high and pay more tax, but you get more return than, sell it when it's low? But where in there did I say you're selling? I didn't. I said, if you're not planning on selling anyway, but a big stake comes due and it's, say it's feeling frothy, it feels mid-late bull market, but you're planning on just holding this or, for a few more months, I guess you'd be missing out on potential staking rewards. It depends. You'd have to weigh it out on what you think the market's going to do. But if you say you earned 100% like a APY, and so you doubled your coins, and then you end stake, and it's worth $1 million that you gained from the stake, then you have to pay tax on $1 million in some places. Whereas if you were to good accounting and you don't take custody of it, in some places they care about that, and then you wait during the bear market and then good accounting it later, whenever it's only worth 100,000, then you only pay tax on 100,000 because you weren't planning on selling it anyway. So I just put that idea out there for people to think about doing if you're going to use good accounting.
Thoughts, K4K, too many Ks. Big K on good accounting and using it in that way or other ways?
Never used it.
Never used it.
Never used it.
I've used it, I think, a couple times. It was right around, I think, the Hedron launch.
I mean, let me pull back. Let me pull back personally.
Yeah.
I have used it for other idiots that I know that haven't got their mistakes done.
Hey, but how handy is that he included that tool to save other people like that?
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, I've helped other people with it, but I have never. I mean, again, the tax thing isn't like exactly something that I'm, specifically worried about myself.
This is true.
That's so like it doesn't. I mean, for me, it doesn't. I mean, I guess if I was in prison or something like that, I get for sure or whatever. But that's other than that, I can't think of a reason why I'm like gonna require to need it personally. But it is a really cool. Like I remember I did. I mean, what was it? Probably was like the year one. I don't know if it was like what event it was for, but I did like a whole segment on all the different possible reasons for using good accounting and like life in general, or why what it could be used for. We came up with a lot. I mean, we came up with like 9 or 10 different things that like were like actual things that you're like, oh yeah, that's super useful that even exists. That's pretty cool. Gosh, I wish. I don't think it was on your channel, Cabana. Yeah, it was on something else. I think it was on Discourse Syndicate. Something that I did there. But yeah, that was it's like I said, I was super fascinated with it. I always thought it's an awesome feature for a bunch of reasons. But I myself have never had to good account anything.
Yeah, and it can just be like a short-term thing. If you're like, I feel like it's gonna dip shortly, because I know a lot of people, they want to just end stake their hex and then just restake it. But a lot of people do not like think about taxes, which is not ideal. So really, if you want to wealth preserve and everything, like Cabana, you moved to Puerto Rico, or I don't know how long you've been there.
I did not.
Well, not Cabana. I meant Big K.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. And that's what I mean. That's why I didn't have to ever use it. It's because like I don't.
Well, yeah. If you don't pay,
there's no real use.
You just don't care. Okay, we shouldn't have asked him. We shouldn't have asked him. He's never gonna. Why would he care?
Well, perhaps before he moved, that he.
Oh, that's true.
Well, I moved what, like right after it was 2 years, so like right after Big Payday. It was like
was that soon?
After that.
Oh, okay.
It was a couple months after that, like it was whatever that January there, so February. So like yeah, I was already making the plan. I was already making the moves. So that was before any of my mistakes really came out.
If you know you're going to move to a more tax beneficial area, I guess you could get accounting some stuff and then not mint it until you move to the better area.
Well, here's an even crazier thing to think about is that like if you leave the US, you have to leave on an exit tax. Like if you have like millions of dollars, they want to make something from you. Like if you come to Puerto Rico, I think there's like the line is like if you're under 2 mil, they don't really care. But anything over that, they want something. But like let's say you've got a couple, like you've got millions of dollars worth of wealth that you want to not have to pay an exit tax on.
Yeah, there's an exit tax.
You could stake your coins for longer, 5+ years, long enough to where the emergency unstake penalty is high enough to where you're underneath that threshold. Because if you have the coins locked up, then like what you pay when you pay the exit tax is what the value is of that asset as it is right now. So like if the asset is locked up, and like if I had to emergency unstake those coins to pay the tax, and like what the actual fair market value is, it's considerably less at that moment because of the fact that like that I can't actually get at that value. I'd get like, whatever, like a third of it, something like that. So like you could potentially punt your money out further, so that way that you would be on paper considerably less, wealthy.
Oh, do you think you can? So like exit tax. You think you'd be able to?
Like you have like if you wanted to stay under you have $5 million worth of coins, and you don't want to pay an exit tax on it, so you need to be under a $2 million line. So like you would punt your coins out 7 years, $4 million worth of it out there. And so if you unstake those coins tomorrow, the day after they go live, then you're only going to get like $1 million worth of coins, And so
it just sounds super technical. I wonder if they care. Like, well, if I were to gain access to it, it actually wouldn't be worth anything. Because
I mean, how else? I would like. I mean, again, now
I
this
get
is assuming in a world where you
it.
are holding all of your liquid worth and everything that you have in Hex. Which, I'm not saying that it's not the greatest asset in the world, but I'm also saying that like, and I also agree with Richard that like, most of your eggs in one basket's a good idea, but a little diversification along the way isn't the worst
thing about crypto is no matter how much you hold of it, if you're holding the right stuff, it becomes your whole portfolio anyway.
That's so exactly
like, right. Why not go in more and then you pull out some because you had all these extra gains?
And that's the thing is that like when you're talking, it depends on who the person is in the sense that like if it's somebody who's looking to come up, then like until you've made until you felt that feeling where you're like, oh, it was 50% of my I put in 20% of what I had, and then it's 100%, it's 95% of my wealth. Okay, so then I diversify, and then the market keeps going up, and now it's 95% of your wealth again, and then you diversify again. And
you basically have to keep selling if you want it to stay at a certain level of your portfolio, because it will just become your whole portfolio.
Exactly. So,
which is a good problem to have.
And then once you have that problem, then deal with the other fucking problem. But like until then, stack the coins, people. That's what I think that's what I did. Was paid very much attention to stacking the coins for a long time. And that was the best part about Hex early on, is that like having like you had this like I wouldn't say arbitrary, because it was a very real concrete goal. There's this big payday thing coming and happening that like up until then you can accumulate coins for a reasonable value, for like a great value on adoption amplifier. But like it was just, and mentally it was great for me. I was going to stack coins for a long time, that was the plan, It's going to be a little more difficult with Paul, so like you have to come up with some sort of arbitrary, like I am going to hold on for this event or this time or whatever for some, like this price point.
You don't stake it, Pulse?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because like I mean, in Hex, like I like everything that I got, I staked out a bunch, and then I just kept accumulating. I kept accumulating, and then got fired from my fiat job on big payday weekend.
I remember that.
Oh, nice. You mean when it dropped like 89% or 86 or whatever?
Yeah, that's a big
buyer barrier right there.
This is what I'm doing.
And then
but Starlink happened again.
But the internet.
Hashtag thanks Elon. So,
there's still bots on Twitter. Elon, geez.
In the meantime, pulling this up just for K4K from Valerie T. Share.
She's so nice.
She is.
And she's active on Twitter, pretty active.
She's fun. She seems fun. Crypto Cashew. Is there a welcome back tax? Yeah.
That's called the death tax if you die on their soil. They're like, boom, give us more. Thank you.
Welcome back tax. That's great.
Yeah. T-Bird's got a few comments here. So first one is just real quick. Good accounting, I think, is for mostly people that go to jail and need someone to end their stake for them without getting nuked. And the other one he had up here was...
It is useful for that.
Yeah. Good accounting is useful for most jurisdictions if the stake is less than 1 year. Otherwise, better, in my opinion, to take the... top and eat the tax. Did I read that right? DCAing in on the following bear compensates for it.
Oh, I never thought about that for less than 1 year ones. If you have short-term capital gains, you're like, well, I'll restake it after the 1 year. You know, maybe you thought you were going to sell it earlier, so then you made the shorter stake, but then you're like, I don't really want to, but I don't want to pay tax on it yet. So, or the worst tax on it. So I'd rather get long term and then just GA it till a year's up. Nice. Hey, there you go. Another big brainer. We got one. T-Bird has actually awesome stuff. If that's the same T-Bird on Twitter.
There's only one T-Bird, I do believe. So yeah.
Well, I mean, there's like apparently a million K4Ks out there DMing people, telling them, "Hey, what do you like in crypto?" And like,
okay, gotcha.
The bots are like getting too advanced.
Are you on Instagram as well? I think that's where
apparently people message me and they're like, "Hey, this is a fake one," and I'm like, "Well, I'll report it, but that's the best I can do." And they make you go through like 10 steps to report one bot. It's like ridiculous. They don't want you to report them. They're like, "Nah, we like the bots." Dude, be like auto, like this is a bot, block it. Like, come on.
It's like all the porn ladies that message you and you report them for like nudity and sexual content, and then Instagram will respond and be like, "We didn't see anything wrong with this." I'm like, okay, so all these bot porn actresses slide into your DMs. I'm like, report. This is what it's for, right? I don't want to see this. And
it's too many steps. Like Richard said, he's like, "Yo, Elon, give me I can't do 8 clicks to report a guy or hide someone or block someone and like say why. Oh, this is a guy scamming my users in my replies. Like, can you please not make me 8 clicks? It's too much. It's like they don't want it to stop."
Yeah. AJ Create, good accounting works great for my ex-wife. Hey, all right. Charles Carroll, Jenkins rules, please do a bi-monthly show. You talking like a chart special there, Charles? That was fun. Jenkins and I did talk about that a little bit. And,
did you guys do was that last week's show?
Yeah, we did a like Saturday morning kind of brunch thing. But it was fun. We went through, I guess, traditional markets, then crypto, and of course, the Hex ecosystem. But it was cool to talk all those different asset classes. So what else do we have here? I think we have one more in the tweets by K4K featuring real tweets by K4K, because we have some more stuff to get through here before the Hex Conference. Let's see here. Last one. So this is a little more fun. K4K says, "Wow, this PulseChain devs work ethic is unbelievable. We truly have the best of the best. Richard Hartwin considered giving the devs a weekend off, LOL." This is Bretep's overview. This doesn't include everything he does either, but I'm not going to, play the 2.5-minute video. But I guess the point of this is, K4K, that we are seeing a lot of dev activity, and if you could just speak to what you're seeing, and there's PulseChain is fine. It's just a matter of when all the haters can just go pound sand.
That's Bretep, and he tells me that the other devs work just as hard as he does. And in that video, you can see his overview, which is actually now hidden because I guess he didn't want everyone seeing how much he works every day, I guess. So now it's hidden. You can't see it. And same with some other stuff that people were finding. Some stuff was meant to be private and that is now private, but I got some pictures of it before. Yeah, the guy works every single day for the past year. There isn't a single day other than the next day that hasn't happened yet. It's kind of like what I realized during the video, that the guy is putting in work on the weekends. Every single day for the whole year, they're doing commits and, additions to the code and everything like that. And he's a maintainer of the code, like of all of their different areas. So he has even more rights in the GitLab than some of the developers. So he's doing tons and tons of work for them and making it all organized as well. So there's so much going on. Like you can see all the different. You used to be able to. I had a different post, and I was asking if people liked more of these technical updates because I was showing exactly what one of the devs just kind of pushed. But apparently his stuff wasn't supposed to be public, so now you can't see it. Other than that, tweet. But people were like, "Oh, this could be done in 30 seconds. What's this?"
Okay.
It's like, dude, this is one picture I took of one thing, and this is like I'm sure, dude. There's so many different files they have, and there's so many different things they have to commit to and work on, and different like executables they got to work with, and that's just one picture. And a lot of coding is just a lot of brainstorming, and then you're like, all right, we finally got the right idea, now let's put it into code, and then you do it. But people were like, it only took 30 seconds to change that to that. Well, like, some guy had a great analogy in the comments, better than mine, and he was like, well, you pay an electrician $1,000, to change a light bulb, it takes like to know which screw, I guess, to turn, is what he said. That is the $995 out of the 1,000, and then the $5 is like turning the screw. Like, you have to have all the background knowledge to know what to do, and that's what is the impressive part, not the they changed that to that. Well, wasn't that obvious? It's like, no, dude, you didn't know that should be changed out of all of those parameters until it was highlighted and already done for you. Like, you just see it after the fact, and you're like, no, they just changed that to that. That should have taken 10 seconds. Where's PulseChain? And you're like, dude, this is one like 1/10% of the whole project. Yeah, like, come on. And you want it to be thorough and done right. So, it's that triad of fast, good, cheap. You pick two. And I want it. I guess. I don't know. It wasn't expensive, but we wanted we want it good for sure, and that takes time.
So we go back to the Hex chart. This concludes the latest segments on the Happy Hour Show. Tweets by K4K, real tweets by K4K. Thank you, K4K, for those tweets, and you can follow him on Twitter for many, many other more tweets with context and the full videos, parts of videos that K4K puts out, links to all his stuff. But those were, a few of the cooler subjects that, we can talk about recently. One more that just came across the old wire here. This is from our friend KDP. If I can find her, where'd she go? Back to Hex a little bit, because we do have the Hex Conference tonight. And is this any coincidence? I thought Hex was dead. 7.1 social engagements in one day. That's a nice chart up and to the right, kind of, from Lunar Crush.
It does look up and to the right.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And price.
And most everything else in the market hasn't moved. It's like just kind of Hex did that. Like, at least from all the bubble posts I was seeing, it was like Hex up 20%, everything else still minus like 0.5%. Almost everything was in the red. So it's like, I guess maybe it is some Hex Conference stuff. Maybe it's the developer stuff. Some people are speculating we're getting close to V3 launch, which we all know is very close to mainnet launch if V3 launches. So pretty excited about that.
And then right there on the right, she also has a link to an article from today that was posted on Seeking Alpha. It looks like, why did Hex USD's price boom today? Crypto market attracts buyers. Just by the headline, it looks like one of those kind of generic things. But those generic things don't really happen unless there's actually some price action to talk about. So good stuff. Perhaps, we'll pick up a little, or continue the momentum, I should say, because we have a little bit on our side. Like I said earlier, before we got on Big K, we're right at the 40-day, looks like. So it's kind of, held under that for...
How long is that?
This chart goes back to June right here, but we've been below the 40 since early November. So this is the first time we're kind of challenging that. And we were only above the 40 for a brief little bit in October. And that was when the God Whale made his buy there, I believe, at around 3 cents and started that pump. So we were trying to figure out when that was, and I'm almost certain that right around there was when that happened. So Good stuff. Good stuff. What is next on our list here before we have an hour left before the conference? I guess we talked about this past couple of weeks again with the guests on the show, but haven't gotten your takes on it. I guess Big K already asked K4K this. What project or platform do you have the most excitement for in 2023? That's within the ecosystem, obviously, of PulseChain, PulseX, Hex. Is there one that sticks out to you to be like, I wonder how that's going to perform, if we get back into a bull? K4K signaling PulseX.
Yeah. I mean, PulseX for sure. If I have to pick one outside of those, I mean, I of course like Hedron and Icosa. I think those are cool.
And that's
if I have to pick
actually
one
good that you bring that up,
speculative.
because those have pumped. Those actually pumped in line in succession before Hex. So if anybody is watching that price action, Big K just brought up Icosa and Hedron. Icosa pumped first, and I think it was like the next day or within that 24-hour period, then Hedron pumped, and then
that was interesting to watch.
So if you were accumulating large amounts of coins, that would be the playbook to do it. Really, is get those derivatives set, lock it in, and then pump the big boy last, and kind of just do it under the radar, and then take that tens of millions of hex over time. So I thought that was really, really interesting, and not a lot of people are talking about that on Twitter, but the succession as to how that happened, it was very neat, and it wasn't all at the same time. It was Icosa, then it was Hedron, and then it was Hex. So something to keep an eye on.
And the other ones that I like, of course, are all our other hex derivatives, which looks like whatever. The only one that has any sort of deficit, right? Or I mean, like it's not not a premium, but whatever the deficit, is what Deci, and just barely. It's like 0.99 something. So like all those ones look pretty good too. They're all cool project. I mean, if you want to get a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 10-year hex stake, I get it. Yeah, or max length, you got them, which I like their stuff too. These are cool projects. I don't know. I can't think of anything else that's like. And there's some other cool ones that I like on top of it. I like like we had talked about. We talked with Buck. I like the Fiat and Famous stuff too.
Very much looking forward to both. Yeah.
Do
Especially
you use Aave? Do you use that type of stuff?
Yes, I mean, yes. So I think that those products are. I think that I would use Aave more.
And we know other people will use them too. So
well, the institution, like the big people, are good. Like they're not going to come and play without those tools. So,
that's a compelling reason to be bullish on it.
So I like those. I like those things. Like I said, there's this other. I can't remember what the heck it was. I was just in a Telegram group recently. I was looking through their project, and it's like another one that rewards hex stakers. That's coming out here soon.
Oh, nice!
Hey,
more stuff.
I can't remember what the heck the name of it was. It's something like, I wanted to say it. I keep wanting us to call it communist coin, but it's not.
What?
That's not what it's called. But it's something like community something. It's something close to that. I hate to. I'm not trying to. Whoever the hell. I'm not being mean. I think it's a cool. Like I said, I was just reading the stuff for it where it's like they're not trying. There's certain things like you won't reward if you have HSI stakes or whatever. It's not rewarding that. That's native. But like I said, I just started poking through it. So I mean,
Motley says it's communist unless he's trolling.
Oh, there he is. Yes,
like
thank
community.
You,
like communi.
If that's actually what their name is, I would
Communities.
I would rethink it.
Communities.
'cause
There you go. Exactly. So they're
It's gonna
that
become
one.
communist coin.
Okay.
I
So
mean-
like if you're in the community,
Oh, Monday.
you would be a communist. So is that what you'd be? Is that
A communist? Ah. Don't communes have like a bad rap? I don't know.
There you go. So we launching Monday. See, look at that. There we go. That's what there. You're useful even from afar, sir.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Where are you, Motley? People are asking for you.
Where
in chat.
are you?
You are missed. So
Probably eating delicious food again. How dare
most
you.
likely, I'll have to check the Instagrams and see if he's posting anything on there. But
He's here in
yeah,
spirit.
he is, and in chat, or just perhaps it is a spirit making its presence known in the chat. So yeah. But yeah,
Oh,
so I guess
man.
there's a Telegram group for this thing. I just
Yeah,
been
I had
out
made
of
my way
before the
into it. I
holidays.
just couldn't remember the name, and I was just reading over the stuff. So there you go. There
Yes.
you go.
And
What is
Motley
it?
has confirmed he is minting Zen.
No,
No.
someone else said that he's minting Zen. That's why he wasn't.
No, he-
And so he's
he's-
like, I guess he saw that and he was like,
Yes,
and now he's just trolling them.
yes, he is.
He did
So,
mint. He said early on. I don't know. See, those tokenomics are not great. I'll say, yeah. Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm not here to like talk either way about it. I just think that I will say, like the project or not, Homeboy is building. So like that dude
Fair.
puts in time. He puts in time. He puts in energy. He puts in effort. He's building quickly. I mean, like, and like
That's
that.
not
I mean,
always
like
great.
I mean,
If you're doing
no, I'm
harm
not
and you're
saying.
doing it
Like I
quickly,
said,
it's
I'm
worse.
not saying that I'm like
You know?
totally. I mean, but the things are doing what he's intending them to. So like, am I over here like asking anybody's D over anything? No, I'm not. I'm not spending my time like my hours minting hundreds of wallets or anything like that.
But some people are and wasting
But like I
their
do,
time on
but
it.
I do
It's so
pay,
bad.
but I do pay attention to everything that's out there. And I will say that like you can be like if you're in crypto still, you can be chilling in the Hex community, waiting for PulseChain. You can be searching for layer 2 solutions and airdrops and stuff for all the different layer 2 stuff that's coming out, which is a lot of boring work to find stuff that may or may not be cool later.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I've poked through that seems kind of interesting is what this dude is like, just in the sense that like I think that he's going to continue to put like there's going to be a bunch of shit that gets built on top of it. I'm not saying that and you know how it is. I don't think that like partnerships or
Promise coin.
promises
You've heard
and
of
all that
these.
shit is exactly. I'm not here to
Ooh, we're
shill
gonna
that
build this. Buy now.
No.
It's
But that's the
the
other
old
thing
playbook.
too that is really interesting is that like Homeboy has never said nobody is ever they're not no one's saying buy now. That's for sure. That's
That explains the price.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's
So, like I said, I mean,
99.99%.
it's unique and interesting in
Oh my God.
some ways because like I mean you've never seen something
point
go
do you-
down as much as it has and still have as many people paying attention as they are. So like I said, I'm not as somebody who has disliked like founders before Richard and then come around on people, and like projects in general. Like I just keep an open mind. So like I'm like I don't think that I will. Like I said, I'm not spending my time with it, but I'm not also like I like seeing people trying to do stuff. That is now and the
I mean,
fun
it's burnt a lot of ETH, right?
That's on the other flip side that I also have to like. I
can we
balance
get
all this
stuff that
out.
burns a lot of pulse?
Exactly. I like that.
Let's go.
Sam Bankman-Fried did a lot of stuff too.
I mean, no, I agree. I'm talking about legal stuff that makes sense and is like and has some sort of benefit. Now, again, if you're a big Ethereum holder, then like this is a cool idea. If you're going to be a big Pulse holder and it's going to be on Pulse, then that's cool too. I mean, now on the other hand, if you're somebody trying to onboard people and Ethereum gas prices are insane amounts, then it's like also. I mean, it's just like life, man. There's all these like levers of balance.
I know, but then what's your
really
definition of like a bad coin that you wouldn't you would
there's
say bad
tons.
things about.
Most things that there's tons of coins that I'm not saying good things about whatsoever, and I'm not even saying great things. I'm not saying that anybody like it's like I'm not saying that like it's great things either. But I will say that it's an interesting model overall, and like like if you didn't look at the price chart at all and you just clicked the mint button, because like I did a few mints on it early on. And like when I got them later, I sold them immediately and made more ETH than what I put into the system. So like whether the price is down 99% or not, I just close my eyes and don't pay attention to the price chart and hit the sell button. And there's more coins than there was before. I mean, whatever the hell that is, I'm not saying that I'm promoting it because like again, I get like there's game theory tricks and all of this shit that like I can't. You know what I mean? Like you can't promote that to people. Like maybe this works for you or maybe not. It's all silly. But like, and that's why it's like I can't promote that to other people and be like, yo, you should put your money into this or your time into this or your energy into this. But I also, if for those that like want to fuck around with heart, like I said, I clicked the buttons and then I did the thing and I was like, oh, that's weird. There's more there. It's not, the chart says it's down 99%. But like I still made more ETH there than I had before. That's weird, So like I'm again, am I sitting around clicking thousands of buttons? No, but like,
say you bought BitConnect and you sold a pump, would you then not say bad things about BitConnect?
But like like I said, and to be fair, I didn't sell a pump. I sold like a dump, like it was already like
it doesn't even have pump.
Like,
I guess it did, but
that's a great soundbite actually. Yeah.
I sold the dump, and I still made money. That's the crazy thing about it. I mean, like whatever the hell.
You got it for free or free.
That's why he loves free coins.
I do love free coins. So it's like let me tell you,
only with the free coin can you sell a dump and make money.
The more efficient gas gets, the lower the price will go. It's like
sure.
the better technology gets, the worse Zen does.
That's worse.
It's bad efficiency.
Of course, but like I mean, how crypto works. It's like again, if we're doing this, like there's different sides here because if I'm doing it, like tells people that don't want to sit around speculating all in their life, or I'm talking to people out there that like are looking for something that they can that like might be something that they want to understand. That is a place to put their money relatively safely to have more yield at a later point in time. Like Hex is like obviously I know what I'm promoting, but because but at the same time when you're right when like crypto is this big speculation game and this dude is already like if he's already telling people openly that like he's gonna build his own layer one if things go continue to go well, which he thinks they are. So like now if you're getting on like he's building his own blockchain and he's building this on top of it and he's going to do all these partnerships and everything, like that's how like if you're doing the speculation sell to the greater fool game, then this does have like a bunch of the elements of pumpable nature. I don't think, like I said, I'm not telling people, hey, go get this. This is a thing. Because I think that there's the way it could also dump another 99% before any of that ever happens. That's totally possible.
No, there's always potential for future development on anything. So why not take the thing that already is developed well?
No, of course. But and you're talking, we're sitting in a degen playground in general in crypto. So like as somebody who put a couple fucking pennies into making a shrimp farm when this all began, just to be like, oh, this shrimp farm shit is stupid. Don't. There's no need to mess around with.
The shrimp feed. I remember that.
Yeah.
In Pyra, there was that Pyra Hex or whatever that one was. It was literally like a pyramid time capsule game where you're like,
I fucked around with a bunch of that shit like early on, just like understanding a lot of it to be like, oh no, if somebody brings that up, I can confidently say this is complete garbage, So like I do like to I can click the buttons just fine,
No,
just like anybody.
on the individual level,
so
anyone can do whatever they want. Go try out every coin out there, and I think people will just realize over time, like the cream rises to the top, but they got to go try it themselves.
100%.
It's just that with me particularly and my whatever platform I've got, I take that onus upon myself to not spread like too much information about things I honestly don't think will do well. People can find it on their own. They're definitely going to, but I'm not going to fill the consciousness with like, even though I'm doing it currently, I try not to, like on my own.
Yeah, I mean,
videos.
we have fun. Like I said, we have fun of like, I mean, we bring up all the different shit on this show. And it was the segment where, man, it's like, what other stuff is where we talk, it's like, I will break, like I said, if it comes up, I'm just saying that like, as far as someone who purveys out through most of crypto and pays attention to what else is going on out there, there's not much going on out there that's worth your time. And like, even that this, I'm not saying is worth your time, but like, it's nifty to see someone building something interesting. Whether, like I said, like, and is not telling people in any shape or form, put your money into this. He's like, you can click a button and mint some for free, but like, that's no one saying like, buy the shit.
Just pay shipping.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not saying that like anybody should go and do this thing whatsoever, or mint it and sit around doing it. I'm not saying that by any means, but I'm saying that like, whether it be that or whether it be a bunch of shit like we talked about before on Pulse, there's 150 fucking projects that are going to be built plus on this, and like I do like seeing people build shit, like that is like cream is going to rise to the top. And there's projects that are they're like I said, in general we named the several that I think are cool, like, and that's like 4 or 6 out of 100 and something, and so like for the most part I think most of it's garbage, and like, but I'll gladly talk about it if somebody like brings it up. Okay, fine, this is why I don't like it or do like it. But
and blockchain do need things for people to do on them to like get users as well. Like if
so it's all, I mean,
nothing else was launched on it. People
you go to the mall and like there's a store with fidget spinners in it, and there's a store with other shit in it, and like you're not gonna, if you're running property, you're not gonna not take their money if they're like, I'm gonna do this store, here's the rent money. You're not gonna be like, it's a terrible business idea, don't do it. You're gonna be like, sure, I'll gladly take your rent money. So like and most businesses will fail.
But you wouldn't like tell your friends or your colleagues about that store that you think is going to fail. You would be like, yo, come to the mall. I mean, there's not good things here sometimes. Like, that's
I agree. And that's why it's not like I'm, starting a channel about any of these other projects, really. I mean, like the ones that I like to talk about the most, or I think that add the most value are, specifically ones that have to do or directly promote staking Hex or staking Hex longer, so those I think are those, like Hedron, Mycosa, I think are pretty cool. The Maxi system stuff I think is super cool. I think that this new one, whatever communist coin, is going to be,
that's so funny.
That's what it's forever going to be known as.
No, I'm sorry, guys. I don't. Fine, I'm down with that. Oh crap. I'm getting a message that's just coming through on my computer. I may have to leave here soon, guys. But no, I like all this stuff. I don't like it, and I like the stuff that I get for free the most. I like that a lot. Huge fan. I like the stuff that promotes staking Hex longer a lot. Those I think are super cool. But I'm also, like I said, there can be other people that might build something else somewhere else that might have value in for that's out there, and I'm not opposed to that. I don't find it problematic to my worldview. But I also like carefully choose what what I'm willing to bring up and talk about. So,
well, yeah, I mean, you do put a lot of nuance in what you say, which is important. I think a lot of people don't use nuance, which leads to lots of kind of not disingenuous, but just like weird kind of outcomes. But like you use a lot of nuance with what you're saying, so yeah. I
mean, I try to engage in some diode action. It's hard when we get like this into these coins, But and like I said, there's value here in understanding what's going on around you. I mean, like I said, I feel after messing around with all those initial like Ponzi style, really cheesy, weak proof of weekend stuff, like I can sniff that shit from miles away, and like now it's evident whatever we're getting into, a lot of that stuff. If it has to be some like real next layer shit for it to like to.
Oh, that's
to,
this guy Mudhog's got it right. That's why I loved Hex. It got rid of all the time of me spending looking for the next cool thing.
And that's true. And like, I'll be honest with that like I wouldn't probably be doing like as much like deep research as I still like whatever clicking the fucking buttons as I do. If it wasn't for me coming on if I didn't come on air and talk about stuff to people that might be out there, like, and I don't want to sound like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking. I want to get up here and be like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You wouldn't know about communist coin.
Hey guys, I like to still know what the hell I'm talking about. So like, and if if I had just made mad gains from Hex and then sailed off into the sunset, I probably would pay way less attention to all this shit. But like, I'm happy to like, still engage in it. It's
definitely entertaining. Like, it's fun to talk about. I love talking crypto with other crypto people. It's probably the most fun thing because it's world-changing tech. You get rich on it, and you make tons of friends. It's
yeah. I mean, and like when I was doing other shit with my time,
because
I've picked up like I've got free time, so I picked up other things that I used to do before, video games or whatever. Like I just don't find the same joy in it as as I did before, and as I do in researching and knowing about this stuff.
True. I love.
I have to go, gentlemen. I'm now getting another message through my computer that says it is time with the children and the things. And so this has been lots of fun. This has been. I appreciate both of you.
I will see you tomorrow night, sir.
I will see you tomorrow night as well. This will be a lovely few days of Hex festivities.
In 40 minutes, it starts. So
yes,
are you in a new room, Big K?
Well, this was actually my old and then we moved the boy into this room, and then now he's not in here, so I got my office back, which is super cool. But I don't have the hexagons all over here, so it still kind of sounds tinny. So hopefully my sound gets a little better here in the coming weeks. So.
All right, well, peace. Good seeing you.
Yes, it was good to see you too. Y'all gentlemen have a good time, and I will catch y'all tomorrow.
See you
later.
And then there were two.
I was literally gonna say that exact same thing. I was like, I'll just let him say it, I guess.
And 4Ks.
4K, K4K.
Yeah, just not too much left really to chat about. And of course, we got Maddie's Hex Conference starting here shortly. Just some comments in the chat. Sobi1, I kind of said this as like a funny thing months ago. I was like, what if Zen's ultimate veiled purpose was to ultimately burn PulseChain one day, and Ethereum was just like a test? It was just a conspiracy theory, but funny to think about.
Now that is wishful thinking. I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Richard is going to block Zen from PulseChain.
He's not blocking anything. It's too much. It's because then you have to create code that allows blocking of things, and
just what we need, another delay, right?
Yeah.
How hilarious would it be if Richard didn't copy it over like Axion and Wise, which I think, that would be done and over with anyway.
I think it's one of those ideal things. Like, yeah, we'd like to exclude some things because we just can, because they're writing the code, they can do what they want. But it's also just like, let's just do the stuff that needs to be done first, and then by that time you're like, let's just launch it.
And speaking of, that is our last topic of the evening. While we have a few more minutes here before the Hex Conference begins, just wanted to, bring these couple of future events by you and get your thoughts on, I guess, possibly how they could relate or how they are relating. Maybe how they could relate to a PulseChain / PulseX launch. So the first one is, a bit of old news, a few weeks old, but
Shanghai update.
It's it has to deal with the overall point or question.
I have thought about this as well. So good point bringing this up.
Yeah. So Ethereum devs, they're targeting March 2023, which is literally 2 months away, for the release of staked Ether. Staked ETH withdrawals are coming in the spring. So there's that point. That's part one. And then part two is, so that was April. Part two, we have Uniswap. So
Oh yeah, that's coming up in April as well.
yeah, their license modification currently set for the 1st of April. So just those two kind of months in mind, you know, obviously this is a more precise date if that is indeed the date. But do you think that, how should I phrase this? Do you think that this ultimately has an effect on when PulseChain? Because I asked for one, that reason, and then two, I mean, things are going to be updated all the time going forward. So it's like, you know, do we delay, you know, for every single thing or fork or update, and then it's just like this endless cycle, and then we get, you know, vaporware. You know, your thoughts on these dates coming up, how if any effect it has on PulseChain, PulseX, and yeah, it's our last topic for tonight.
Well, I do think, like, if you would have asked me a year ago if we would wait for these things to come out, I'd be like before we would launch, I'd be like, no way, probably done soon.
We'll be out by then.
But also, that was before the ETH merge, which we didn't think would happen. You know, they always just kept delaying it. So our only option was to copy BSC. But then, you know, that had its own problems because they're not an actually decentralized chain. So we didn't want an actual scam chain to be PulseChain. So we have to use ETH 2.0, which is luckily came out, even though we had to change everything. But with regard to the Shanghai update, I have thought about that. That's the, if you want to pull it up, I guess they don't need to see it, but yeah, people can't pull their staked ETH out of their validators yet. Like they haven't seen any return on that. And, you know, that can get pushed back. There could be an error with whatever that update is, you know? So I am curious whether we'll wait for that to release, at least for the staked ETH part. But the thing is, like, we're 1-to-1 compatible with like Ethereum 2.0 when we launch. So we can still wait and see how their update works. So we could launch before Shanghai update. We could launch before the PulseX or before the Uniswap update, because we can just on the fly, you know, developers, no expectation to work, but I'm sure they would like to introduce these features going down the line. So I don't think it's like technically hindering us because we're already compatible. So they can just, if it doesn't work, hey, we didn't mess up our stuff. They'll fix it after they have the bug, and we can just fix it after they've done the update and patched it themselves. So I think we're actually in a great position.
Yeah, wouldn't that be more so the case, favorable to us in terms of the Uniswap part of the equation, only because that's just a licensing deal. So like all that stuff's out there, it can be worked on. It could be theoretically maybe ready to go.
That's right.
And then it's just once the licensing clicks over, oh, okay, it's April 1st.
Yeah,
it's go time. I'm kind of asking, but that's the way
that's
my brain
totally
is working.
possible. Like it can, I'm sure teams out there, you know, you were here during the 2020 sushi swap, kimchi swap, every other noodle swap, every type of
Food
AMM
swaps.
V2. As soon as like that Uniswap V2 code came out, there was all these ones trying to, you know, add tokens onto it, make it so you earn this yield token, and come use ours, you get more of the fee for providing liquidity, or you pay less of a fee if you're buying, but you get paid in this token on top of liquidity provider fees. So that was like an added benefit. Well, once they made V3 and licensed it, no one could do that rampaging, copycat, vampire attacking because we have more features. Come to us, to bring your LP tokens here. There's not LP tokens in V3 anymore, but it could be a similar, just come here with your liquidity because you'll get more for your money here, more capital efficiency or more rewards, at least temporarily. And so you could potentially see on that day or weeks later, teams probably have stuff just ready to go. Leading up to those days, they're going to be like, here's our V3 with all this other added stuff that we've been wanting to try and wanting to launch, but we can't because we can't get a license agreement with these people, because they still have to agree. You can't just be like, hey, we gave you the money, you have to give us the license. It's like, no, they also have to agree to license it to you. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big mania over that. And that leads to a lot of, obviously, speculation and new tokens and coins probably coming out around that time. Maybe people doing similar buy and burn stuff now that they've got that. That seems to be like, as soon as Richard comes up with stuff like sacrifice phase and buy and burn, you see just like 30 new things come out the next week of buying and burning, and here's a sacrifice phase. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I'm not saying our team's working on it, but like that would be, I know some teams are probably working on that. That would be crazy if they were not, because that's a huge opportunity to get lots and lots of people's eyeballs and attention for that V3 opening up and people making all their exchanges again with possibly tokens, possibly farms. And who doesn't want to get in a good farm early and just rake in the big bucks for doing no work at all? So that's probably going to happen. And but I don't think we're going to wait. I don't know. Do I want to make a prediction?
Yeah, why not? Who's watching?
Who's watching?
200-300 people.
What do you think, Cabana?
Plus replays.
Do you think PulseChain will at least testnet? Will testnet? Do you think it will be out before April 1st?
Absolutely.
I think so as well. But I mean, I don't have any insider knowledge. I'm just saying.
I've said
it really seems close. Like
PulseChain by May.
But hey, that's like 1 month later, and we want to have, like Richard said this, and it's very smart. Some people I've seen in comments like, "Oh, just skip the testnet, launch mainnet." No, that's not good strategy at all, or very secure. Like, would you want Ethereum doing updates without using testnets ever? They just go boom, a test and prod. No, that's how. What's his name? Who was that guy who he created a rug pool, but he also did some other useful stuff like Keeper and Wifey. It's like, is he Russian? Do you know what I'm talking about? The guy who did the Wiren Finance?
Chat.
He's like their big. He was the big coder guy. Anyway, he would his Twitter like bio description was testing in prod, which basically means you just add live updates and change stuff in production instead of in a test environment, see if it works great, and then push it to prod. And then what you get is, with moving fast and breaking things. Yeah, Andre Cronje, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's the guy. And then he created something called like Eminence or something, or EMN, and it literally rug pulled. And he was like, well, I didn't tell anyone to like get it or anything, but everyone was watching all of his deployer addresses, and anything he released, everyone aped in, because the last stuff he created did pretty well. So everyone was just aping into everything he would ever release. Now, partially that's on some people, but if he was testing in a test environment and then pushing stuff that knew would be good to live, maybe that wouldn't happen. So I think that doing testnet, probably 30 days of it would be my guess, at least, 30 days, maybe a restart or two if there's any hiccups or something of the testnet, and then we're live mainnet. That's how I see it going. So maybe before April, testnet, and then a month, and then mainnet. And then 2023 is the best, because there's going to be all these insane V3 Uniswap clones everywhere.
So are you taking April or May for mainnet? Or after?
I mean, I'm not going to pick a specific month or whatever, but I'll say mainnet maybe before May.
Really? Okay. See.
That's my guess. I mean, I'm just gonna guess because I haven't guessed.
No,
I've literally not made a prediction on it for like the whole time.
Yeah,
so
but I mean, we've tried to predict this for probably over a year now. It's like, so it's cool to actually hear for what we think should be just months away now. At least in
and Hex is so like bottomy feeling. The Fed's already reduced how much they're raising rates. That's on the edge of
They're
hey,
only
we're gonna stop raising rates, and then it's cutting rates, and the market is super like advanced and smart. So they're like, hey, they're already slowing it. I'm gonna start buying now. Hey, they're stopping it. I'm gonna buy even more now because that means soon they'll go probably down, even if they're saying all this stuff about the future or whatever. People can, if they play it right, you can time it and actually you buy before the big okay, the federal I had this tweet. I just did this tweet today, and it's how the Federal Reserve works. Okay. So here's how the game's played. The Fed lowers interest rates to encourage lending and speculating, and then stocks and houses and bonds go up. Inflation happens as everyone buys everything in sight. The Fed calls its friends and tells them they're about to raise interest rates, so they should sell the top. The Fed raises rates, everyone sells, lending dries up, prices fall, recession happens. The Fed calls its friends and tells them it's about to lower rates again. So this is the bottom. They should buy up all the assets for cheap. Repeat. And slowly but surely, all the property and civilization gets transferred to the banks. Now, that's the sad part. But ideally, with cryptocurrency, we can outpace the gains and soak up a bunch of their worthless dollars into our really into the consciousness of the people. We have to get the idea that cryptocurrency has more value than fiat. And so once we get enough people in the world that just do not value their country's fiat anymore, then crypto can really take off. So we haven't really gotten there yet. And we've already seen tens of thousands of X's, millions of X's in Bitcoin. And that's still just the beginning, because there's literally trillions of dollars out there. And I think our whole crypto market cap is like less than $1 trillion or $1 trillion or $2 trillion now. So there's so much money out there. And this is just one of the cycles. So that's how I see it.
And hopefully coming out of the bear sooner than later. Regarding the Fed, I think we just have a couple more raises and that's it. So I think they're done this winter, really. And I've said before, I think if inflation has peaked, it's how the Fed acts after that. And I think they're waiting on signals from the job market. There was some, I guess, wages. There was some good news on that front today. That's why the market's just absolutely ripped. But it's like, okay, well, they're going to have to massage this unemployment number if that's one of the big things that they're looking at. Because I think that's inflation is done, but it can come back. And a lot of people point to the 70s and the mistakes that happened there. I don't think it's 100% the same situation. China is a different animal.
Yeah,
there are different factors at play, but in the back of their mind, I think Powell is I just want to make sure that does not happen again, and we have to do the whole thing.
That these okay, if you have an infinite money printer, are you going to turn that off forever? No. So they're going to turn it back on, and what's that do? Everything that's not the dollar goes up in value. So versus the dollar, because it just becomes, unless it inflates more than the dollar, or whatever. But as things settle out, you're going to see appreciation in all of these assets as they print the dollar. So getting in at these 95% discounts of the things that you already know have done insanely well in the past. They haven't had any exploits for 3 years. That's the kind of stuff that I like to promote to people and encourage people to look into, because that's life-changing stuff. Even getting back to all-time high is life-changing money for most people. And Hex can do that with a few millions of dollars added to the to the buy side, and we have PulseChain coming out. It's like, there's so many awesome things. It's just everyone is so depressed in the bear market because it's grueling. It's a slog. It's like, and
if it were easy, everybody would do it, and
that's right.
Everybody would be on islands or their mountain cottage somewhere on a lake or whatever.
It wouldn't be called a shakeout if it didn't shake people out. Like you will see people every time. It's never going to get to the point where everyone's like, oh, they're raising the rates, just don't sell because we know they'll remove them. No, they do it until there's enough pain out there that they have to turn the printer back on, and then they do it, and then all their friends buy the bottom. And if you're lucky enough, you hopefully dollar cost averaged in, expecting them to turn the printer back on. That's just how you play the game. I'm not saying that's how the world should work. Like, I don't think the people who do the least work and click buttons on a screen should get the most money in the world. Like, that's not how it should be. The real important stuff is goods and services, like Richard said. We want better accounting for all of the work people have done. We're just in a weird time right now where we're transitioning from like fiat to possibly a better money for people. And you can get rich doing that. So take advantage of it. Well, like, why not?
Absolutely. And I think that is about a great place to wrap this one up.
Yep.
We have a big conference tonight.
I'm excited. I'm going to relax and watch, and I don't have popcorn, so I'm sad about that, but gotta get some at the store. Maybe
go pick me up a burrito.
Oh, dude, don't say burrito. Yeah. You know I love burritos.
Yeah. Give me one of those Caltort things. Do you use the sauces at all?
Which ones, like Chipotle sauce or?
I'm just thinking of like a good burrito shop will have like a cabinet of sauces. So
I don't go to good burrito shops. I go to Chipotle.
Well, I mean, they're not. I mean, for like mass, consumption.
Do you have like nice local burrito shops or something that are?
No,
like...
I was just talking like it. Well, yes, there are if you go, to certain areas. But
actually, you know what? I have one literally down the street that I have gone to, and they did have a special sauce. Now that I think about it, but
yeah, there's like a cabinet of sauces. My go-to right now is called Rectal Rocket Fuel, and it's absolutely awesome. So
can we get a sound clip of that? What did you say? Your favorite is?
My current favorite burrito sauce right now is Rectal Rocket Fuel.
Oh, okay, burrito sauce.
Yes,
they actually called it that in the store. You'd think that would.
Oh, it's on the label and everything. It's really funny. It's like a guy like literally launching himself from the toilet, I believe. But
nice.
It's good tasting. That's the important part. And it's
that's
hot.
good. Yeah, it's good whenever it's good flavor and the spice. But yeah.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, man.
Heck yeah, man. When are you on the Hex Conference? Which day?
It's the 4th day.
This is where we chill ourselves.
It's number 12 talk or whatever, but it's not. That's based on the whole conference, so that doesn't really have. But just K4K Crypto on the far right of the. It's right before the Richard Hart segment, so on the last day.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy to remember then.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. And you also have YouTube, Patreon.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Want to shill those?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube at K4K Crypto. That's where I have literally there is a video every single day on that channel, even on the weekends.
Even on the weekends.
If you're looking for like great Richard Hart content and stuff, that's on there. Sometimes it's breakdowns of like good segments I've had. Just like I've done 6-hour live streams. I guess a 6-hour live stream. Can't say multiple yet. So if that's the kind of stuff you like, go there. I'm on Twitter actively. Should probably tone that down a bit, but because if I turn some of my tweets, like a couple of them, into a video, it'd probably be more worthwhile to humanity or helpful. Because Twitter does get lost, in time. What was my 10th tweet ago? I don't know. But yeah,
there's plenty of valuable tweets on there, so it's good.
There's
I enjoy it, and plus it's videos, it's links to other videos.
Right.
It's a whole, and you cover pretty much an array of Hex, PulseChain, PulseX, so it's the entire ecosystem there.
Mm-hmm. And then one of the best ways to learn in crypto, if you saw Eric Wall's post about how he researches in crypto, he learns. I only bring up his name because everyone here probably kind of knows who Eric Wall is. But he's a very technical guy in the crypto space, and he does research into all types of stuff. And the way he researches is, I realize, very similar to how I research, because he goes in, he tries to read the docs, whatever the documents a website has, the white paper, he'll go there. Then he'll check the Twitter accounts of the people associated with it. Then he'll check the telegrams. And so I also have a telegram, and it's true that what his findings were that the best, most in-depth information he found was actually from the people who are in the project in these private telegram groups about the project. You are like invite only. Now mine is not invite only, because I want to be more inclusive and get as many people helped as possible just learning this crypto stuff. And it's true that the telegram groups are some of the best ways to learn in crypto, I think. Like you get in there and you can ask direct questions to hundreds of people. And if you want to join t.me/pulse theory, that's the one I created probably over a year ago. And literally daily there's alpha in there constantly. And I think it's the best telegram group. It's free to join still, and I'm in there, so you can get direct contact with me. But that's some of the best ways to learn, because people will come in there with certain ideas. It's not just for like basic question stuff. So like if you're like, oh, what's a blockchain? Like maybe not there yet. But I would recommend people join if they're interested in like the getting in-depth learning of stuff. And you can just be a passive viewer too. If you don't want to talk, you can just join. No one will like call you out like, hey, what are you doing here? But those are my main ones. There's also a Discord, but you can reach all my links if you go to the Twitter, which is at K4K Crypto, and do Linktree. All my stuff's there.
Cool deal. I was gonna pull up a Hex chart just because our infamous dumper has struck at resistance. So another 10 million out of
nice.
The remaining 100 million just got dumped on the market. So he's down to 90 million now. And, probably trying to time the conference, I guess. Well, maybe
right.
I can't give this wallet that much credit, because I think that's the one that's just selling via MetaMask at like these large.
That's trolling.
They're
just giving like 1% to MetaMask. Like, LOL, what are you doing?
Yeah, but
it's so bad.
Yeah, so we're 24 or 0.24, 0.024. So
we didn't get to.
It's okay.
We didn't get to talk about the like the DC. What is that? The DCG. The freaking
Genesis.
They had to fire like 30% of the workers and stuff. So that seems like that might lead to another big cascade of something coming out. So maybe that's where our 11K and Prey comes from, perhaps.
And then billionaires fighting on Twitter with the Winklevi and Barry Shilbert, and it's just a mess. But like you said, maybe that's
just like with SBF. Remember those little conversations they had on Twitter? They were like, "Oh, they're just it's no issue here. We have all of our funds backed." And then people try to withdraw. They're like, "Turn it off. Nope, no one can withdraw." Like that was the series of events. It was, hey, everything's fine, public facing.
Yep.
People try to withdraw. Turn it off. We're broke. We don't know where 10 billion went.
Oopsie.
What? So
I'm sorry. The South
surprised.
Park skit was great. The tune. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But,
wait, they had a South Park on SBF?
Yeah. Look it up on.
I'm watching it tonight.
YouTube. I don't think it was like a full episode, but it was just like it's a very small clip. Yeah.
SBF South Park. Word. All right. Well, thanks for having me on. Are we going to sign off together, or?
Yeah, we'll sign off together. I was just going to close. We'll be back next week. Same time, probably end of the week. Just stay tuned to my Twitter at Cabana Crypto. Where is it? There it is. And you got 10, 15 minutes to grab some food, some beverage, and then settle in for the Hex Conference that is over on Maddie Allen's channel. So head over there.
I gotta
Thank
tweet
you.
that out.
What's that?
I gotta tweet that out.
There you go. And we're all going to be there at some points. We'll all be watching tonight, I'm sure. I think I'm at the social later tonight, and with Big K after midnight Eastern. Thanks. And
Yay.
Big
Drink some
K,
coffee.
Dollar Cost, and Toby Wan Hexobi on a panel with them tomorrow. Then K4K is on the last day, which I believe is Monday, right before Richard Hart gets in. So just an awesome weekend. We are doing the bear market right, guys, and this is exciting, and we're in a bear. So good stuff. Thank you everybody for watching. Chat, you were awesome once again. K4K again, thank you. Thanks to Big K for stopping by, and Maddie to come by and mention the conference. And we will see you next week, everybody. So cheers until then.